You don't have to start over at 15 or 30. You choose the ideal term for you. Only at idealhomeloans.com. 303-867-7000. It's two big sales at the same time. Aquaspa's huge Labor Day sale and the grand opening of Aquaspa's in the Denver Premium Outlet. It's a party at all the Aquaspa stores for the lowest prices.
Did you tell her to call that woman?
Yes, I gave him a number.
Ready for immediate delivery. Even swim spa. Labor Day means end of summer, and it means you can get yours today with no money down and financing available.
30 seconds till showtime.
Fun, two big sales. Labor Day, Fort Collins, Grid, and Long Rock. Look for the tents at the outlets in Castle Rock and Level. And the grand opening of the Denver Premium Outlet, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. through Labor Day with Aquaspas.
Weekdays 2 to 4. The Situation with Michael Brown.
Well, the Pentagon claimed that it disabled all military vehicles before they left it. They said they're liars. How do we know? We watched the parade of military vehicles yesterday. Let's talk about it at 2.
Just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help come and make it.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by WaterPros.net. WaterPros for your wonderful water systems, whole house conditioning, whole house filtration, fully installed whole house conditioning or softening, under $2,000 for the entire house. If you want a point-of-use drinking fountain, it's for pure water. It's under $1,000 fully installed. Paul the Waterman you can trust. WaterPros.net. I love pointing you to the right people. I also like exposing liars, cheats, and ripoffs. There's a number of things I want to cover today. Ross covered on something on his show that I think is the ultimate consumer problem, danger. And I've thought about it before. You know, when Tay Anderson on the Denver School Board was bragging, he's just an ignorant kid. He's a 21-year-old, unemployed, ignorant kid who grew up and found a way to get on the school board. And everything he says is stupid. It's too bad because a young man like that, what a bright future he could have, but he's such a stupid person. He campaigned to get police officers and safety officers out of all public schools. I remember he was celebrating the fact that no longer will we have safety officers at public schools. He was damn proud of it. Wow, he single-handedly spearheaded that. Now, he got everyone to go along with him, and they removed all safety officers from Denver public schools. So, the other day was an incident. Ross Kaminsky, by the way, covered this on his show. I'm just picking up on what he did. And he's showing a video. If you go to khow.com or khow.iheart.com, if you go to KHOW's website, you will see a brutal attack from one young woman on another young woman. A brutal attack. And during the entire fight, where this young girl gets the crap kicked out of her, not one person intervened. Not one adult, not one school board, school employee. No one tried to intervene. And no one called the cops. No one, not one person. In fact, the cops were not even called. They weren't even called until that night. The school East High School did not have the decency, someone to call police and say, someone's getting beat up mercilessly, or some of the employees to interfere and stop. No school resource officers. Isn't that wonderful? Now, beatings like this can take place any day of the week. Now, remember, we did stop one thing. Talk radio, I believe, could be credited with stopping one thing. They were going to decriminalize all acts in school. Do you remember that? Yes. All sexual acts, all drugs, everything was going to be decriminalized in school. That, thank God, did not pass. But Tay Anderson bullied the school board into removing all school resource officers. So no more Denver police officers on campus, no more safety officers. So this girl gets the crap kicked out of her. Now, here's what's bad about it. Not one adult, not one school employee, no one tried to stop it. I mean, you will see this merciless beating. Oh my God, this merciless beating. And no one tried to stop it. That's what I find crazy. Go to khow.com. It's right on the front page. khow.com. You'll see brutal fight at Denver's East High School as adults and students cheer and watch. In fact, 2 adults, according to Ross when he was listening to this, 2 adults are egging on the bully who's beating the hell out of this little girl. She's a big giant girl beating on this little girl, and they're egging her on saying, kick that ass, kick that ass. No one had the nerve, no one, to stop that fight or to at least say stop it, or for adults to get in the middle of the two and stop them. No one. They just watched it. This is what has become of us. We're so afraid to take action. Oh my God. Holy crap. I've never seen such bullying in all my life. Totally unpunished. Totally unreported. Just have your way. So you can hear the assailant's father saying, kick that ass. Isn't that wonderful? Holy crap. I mean, that is unbelievable. According to Denver Police Department, they were contacted at 5:48 by someone. 5:48. It took place in the middle of the afternoon, and no one called the police until 5:48. By the way, no adult witnesses came forward, no school employees came forward, no students came forward. Nothing is probably going to happen. So, how do you like that? Isn't that wonderful? Can you imagine your kids going to a Denver public school? You would be crazy to send your kids to a Denver public school. Crazy. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the choice. But we can be proud that there are no resource officers at Denver public schools. Go to khow.com and look at the video. You will be absolutely shocked. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I guess this shouldn't surprise us. I swear to God, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Nothing at all. Let's talk to Deborah. Deborah, this sucks. This really sucks. We tried to help you with something here, and all I can say is Empire Flooring is a sham, okay? That's my opinion of Empire Flooring. Empire Flooring is a lead aggregator. They advertise. And they advertise, get your flooring, call, and they have a little jingle, and they have a phone number, and they do a lot of TV advertising. And the bottom line is they're not even a company. They send floor contractors to you to do things, and you had a bad experience. But here's the worst part. I'm not saying everybody who calls Empire has a bad deal. What I'm saying is if you do have a problem, you're never going to talk to Empire. They don't give a damn. Tell me your situation with Empire.
Well, I had some flooring installed, some vinyl flooring, and then a few weeks later, some water leaked out of a refrigerator, and the flooring buckled, and they came
Didn't you say you were supposed to get waterproof vinyl?
Yes.
But the planking got wet.
Everything says it's waterproof, and it's not supposed to warp. And so somebody came out to supposedly repair it, but they couldn't get authorization to repair it. So then they took the vinyl plankings that were there with them, and now I can't get...
They've never come back.
They've never come back. They refuse to repair it. They refuse to give me replacement planks. And that's all I want. That's all I want. I want my replacement planks and I'll take care of putting it back in. 'Cause
Now,
I don't
Empire Flooring sent these two guys out. Who are these two guys from?
I assume from Empire Flooring.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to find Empire Flooring, the company, the store?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's supposedly somewhere in Chicago or something like that. But, you know, there's nobody local.
And no, there's no store. There's no place you can go and bitch because they don't care. They just send people out to your house. They don't care. They don't care. Deputy Doc tried to call him. What happened, Deputy Doc? Did you call him?
Deborah gave me the name of a contact person there. I've tried 3 times, the last time being yesterday at 4 p.m.
Did they bother even to call back at all?
No.
Okay.
Total silence.
Do you get
no
a
return.
voicemail? What do you get?
I left a voicemail.
That's what you get, voicemail.
Right.
When you call.
And again, nothing, just total silence.
I think people should call their number, the sales number, and say, you know, we just want to let you know we're never going to use you. Well, I don't know why you would. Not when you have great companies around locally that you can use. I don't know why you would. Honest to God, they suck.
Okay, let's light them up. 866.
Okay. I want to. Now, this is not the sales number. This is the follow-up number that Deborah had.
Right. 866.
Oh, yeah, it's a contact person that I've been dealing with for 2 months.
866 what?
588.
588.
2336.
2336. She can't even get her replacement planks.
Correct.
Right? They came out, plane got wet. Installer took out the warped planks and never brought them back.
Never brought them back, or my threshold.
And never came back.
Never came back.
And they will not respond.
Hold of them.
Empire will not respond.
Well, they will repair it for like $600.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, they've offered to repair it for $600.
When did they offer that?
Oh, right away.
Then what did they?
But I'm not paying $600 for 5 planks that they took away from me.
But why? Okay, why? If you didn't want to get it repaired, let's just say you thought they owed it to you or something. Why did they take them away? Why did they take the planks away?
Well, you know, I wasn't here. My husband was, and I don't know why he let them take them away.
I don't understand that. And
well, if they were warped.
They were warped, and are you sure you have waterproof?
No, I'm not positive.
Did your contract say waterproof?
At this point, the contract says waterproof, but at this point, I don't care if they're waterproof. I just want some back so that I can fix my floor so it looks decent.
You know, no matter what, they should have called you back.
This one's been going on a while.
Yeah, I know it has. That's because Empire Flooring is, in my opinion, is a sham. It's an empty number you call. They send people out to your house. I don't think they give a damn for people. 866-588-2336 is their phone number. 866-588-2336. And who did you ask for, Deputy Doc, when you were calling?
I called her contact person.
Is who?
Latasha, and she's extension 5128.
Latasha, extension 5128. 5128. All right, you might want to let Latasha know that we know about her. We know about Empire Flooring. We're going to tell everybody about Empire Flooring. 866-588. Extension 5128.
Don't miss the Trading Group Show. All right.
Hey, Tom. I was going to make a video on this fight at East High School. The reason people are reluctant to intervene is because then they get sued. Let's say you guys are having a fight, right? And I grab the
Let's
gun.
talk about estate planning. Tom will give you free legal advice if you ask him at 833-ASK-BLAKE. In fact, he's even on TikTok. He's been answering people's questions. 833-ASK-BLAKE. If you need a will, a trust, he can tell you. Medical directive, a payable on death certificate for a bank account. Perhaps you have other problems. Give him a call. 833-ASK-BLAKE. That's BlakeHarrisLaw.com. And Mark, tell us about your friends at 888.
I'll tell you what they're doing right now. The guys at 888heating.com, check it out. You get a new air conditioner, you get a new furnace, you get a whole home humidifier, you get 5 years, yes, 5 years with 0% interest, all starting at $8,500. Some other companies out there charge just that much just for the air conditioner. Check them out, 888heating.com.
Do you know anyone that needs a new car or someone looking to trade their car?
John, what's going on, man?
Tom, if somebody intervenes, they open themselves up for lawsuit.
Did you talk to that dude, Ray?
Two kids fighting, right?
Good.
And he says, well, when you intervene,
Something there? You don't know?
wrenched my
Maybe?
shoulder.
I don't think his kid's hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, good. I know what you're saying.
That's why people don't want to intervene, because they get sued.
I think at the end of the day,
All I have to say is it's true adult.
You think what?
I said at the end of the day, I don't think he's hurt. He might be, but there was some.
Ray said he was waking up the last 3 or 4 days.
Who?
And Ray's at Century RV, his kid got in a pretty good accident.
It started today at iBoard Advil.
But it's like, did he go to the doctor? No. He said he wanted to go to the chiropractor. Did you take him? No. Had you been back to the doctor? No. You know, it's one of those kind of things.
Kids are tough.
I know. I mean, I was 17 once too, and was bulletproof and everything else. But that's really the problem. You know, it's just so many days go by, it gets to be kind of. You hire an attorney and go to the doctor.
Hey, let me take a minute and talk about Blue Sky CBD. It has really been working for my
Yeah, but he legitimately said the last 2 or 3 days this kid was waking up.
Yeah, no, he said the same thing to me.
I was like, dude.
It's like, you know how kids are, you know, you can barely get a word out.
There you go. Touch your badge.
And stuff.
I probably will call you not to get in the door.
But it raised some very interesting issues that, you know, there are probably things that we should talk about, but I don't want to talk about
In that scenario.
his exact scenario.
I know, when he kind of, he alluded to it, I was curious how that works. I didn't ask her really any questions of it.
I think there's a lot of people out there who, for obvious reasons, would rather the insurance company not know that they have a 16 or 17-year-old driver in the house.
Yeah.
And so they don't put them on the insurance? Because they're the ones that are getting into an accident.
But I think there's still, isn't there still coverage? There isn't. Okay. Is that all states?
Wait, even if you don't exclude them? If you just don't report them and they drive.
Your contract with them, your policy with them states that you have to inform them of any licensed driver in the household. And so if somebody was not licensed before and they become licensed now by virtue of whatever, age, lack of suspension anymore, whatever, it's not a matter of whether they were a permissive driver. Before they didn't have a license, so they weren't allowed to drive. Now they have a license, but if you don't inform the insurance company, they're contractually excluded.
So technically, they don't even have insurance.
They don't have
It's a
insurance at all.
non-insured driver.
I'll give you an example, real life, one of my cases. A man and a wife lived down in like bumfuck Colorado, had a kid going to Alamosa State College, okay? Living in a dorm, not living at home, was moving to a new apartment, came home and borrowed dad's truck just to go move from an apartment to another apartment. Got in an accident driving home. No coverage for the truck, no coverage for the injuries, no coverage for anything because dad had never informed the company that he was a licensed driver in the house. Now they could have informed him and excluded him, like you mentioned. That would be fine. There'd be no premium surcharge for an excluded driver, but you would have complied with your deal. But if he's a licensed driver and you don't inform them,
No coverage.
no.
And that would go, like you said, for anything. If someone never got their license, for that matter, and when it got it at 35, they wouldn't have coverage.
Right. Yeah. If they're a member of your household, which in my case, a kid in college living in the dorms is still considered to have a permanent residence at the parent's house.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Yeah, that makes sense.
the only place you get into weird shit is
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 755. All right, listen, as far as Empire Flooring goes, I just urge you to let people know whenever we do that, it does make a difference. Empire Flooring, 866-588-2336. And Latasha is at extension 5128. But I don't care who you talk to there. Let them know that we know about their terrible service and their terrible follow-up. Now, it could be, Deborah, I don't know what your contract says about, did we ever see her contract? Did it say waterproof vinyl she was buying? Did it say that? I would like to see her contract, although she says she doesn't even care about that now. All she wants is to be able to get those 6 planks and get the floor fixed, and they won't even call her back. That's Empire Flooring. I know you've seen them advertised. 866-588-2336. She's been talking to Latasha, extension 5128, but no one will have the decency to return a call. And I urge you to help out your fellow consumers by letting people know. This is a live show. These are live, I call them on-air reviews, and they make a difference. Because we are a club.
Do we have the subcontractor's info that actually installed it?
You know, that's what I wondered. And Robert, hold on, I'll go to you about your banking issue. Deborah, do we have the names of the subcontractors that went there?
No, not at all. They were 2 Hispanic gentlemen, never gave us a card, never gave us any information.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Now, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Robert, what's going on with you, Robert? Tell Deborah I want to get a hold of her contract just for the grins. I'd like to see it, Suze, and then we will get back to her. What's going on, Robert?
What's going on is I have a Reliant card through U.S. Banks, and someone tapped into my account and was taking money. First, it was 2 people that they took out money, and then I did a fraudulent complaint, and I sent it in. They put the money back in the account and sent me a new card. And then Tuesday, I went to pull out some money. I pulled it out. And then Wednesday, I checked my account, and it was insufficient funds. Someone from the bank on my Reliant card allowed this person that I was having cut off from the first bank from the first card to still withdraw $2,000 from my account.
Now, your Reliant card is what? Is that for unemployment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what do you mean your bank let someone draw money out? What does that mean?
Did they use the ATM? Did they walk in? What did they do?
No, I didn't have no problem until I started going to the teller. But what happened was that when I found the fraud account and they put the money back in, they sent me another card.
Okay, Robert, so somebody, before this, somebody used your card before. Where did they use your card?
They did this thing called bill pay.
Okay.
That's attached to a card.
So what did they have? They did not present the card. They just had the card number?
No. I don't know how they did it, Tom. They went into the account somehow.
And how much was taken from your account?
$2,000 the second time.
Did they put it back?
The first time, yes. They put it back. And then now I went to look at it, and somehow this Emma person, still got $2,000 off the card.
Is this the same person that took it the first time?
Yes, the person who was.
How are they taking it though? Are they going? It's $2,000. It's not going to be an ATM. Are they charging it like a credit card, or are they walking up to the teller?
It's some type of thing called bill pay.
Okay.
That they allowed it to be paid out.
Well, then you say it's fraudulent. You should get it back again, just like you did the first time.
I think this is some sort of unemployment Relia card.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But I don't know how they use the card. Is that card, when you want to spend money, Robert, do you present that like a credit card?
I guess you can, but I don't do that, Tom. I just use it to withdraw money, and I go to the other bank to pay my bills out of.
Okay, got it.
Generally, a bill pay is something you would set up in your own account. Like I remember when I used Wells Fargo, I could go into bill pay and send XYZ a check for whatever I wanted. So I just don't understand how they're getting it, man. But now, you must have talked to them. What do they say?
No, they reimbursed you the first time. What did they say the first time went wrong?
They said they were going to do an investigation, and I proved to them that I don't do no bill pay because my name is Jones. It's too easy for people to get a hold of my account.
So
I
U.S.
told them I
Bank
don't do
said
that.
they were going to do an investigation.
Yes, and they put the money back and said, what we'll do, Robert, is we'll do an investigation.
Then what happened? Are you sure, hold on, are you sure they didn't conclude their investigation and take the money back, or was it a new transaction?
It was a new transaction.
And how much was taken out the second time?
A total of $2,000.
Again,
how much the first time?
For $2,000 the first time, $2,000 the second time.
The first time, it was to some type of Jody Ross.
I wonder if there's some kind of automatic bill payment someone set up.
I don't know. I think maybe someone put in a wrong number.
I don't do that.
Robert.
Yes.
Does that account have an online feature? In other words, can you log into your account to see what kind of money you have?
I think it does. But
okay, then what you need...
I don't do no online.
Robert, it's not about what you do.
Yeah, but can you... we want to know if you have the ability to go on and see the transaction.
Because someone else might.
Because if the account has that ability, then that's exactly what's happening to you. Someone is logging into your account.
Right.
They are going into the bill pay feature of it, and they are sending whoever the heck
That's
they
exactly
want money.
right. That's
what
exactly
you have
right.
to do is change everything about your account. Wherever you have to go to do that, you need to change your online features.
Yeah, your online account is being hacked, Robert. Now this time, hold on, Robert, with this, the latest $2,000 that was taken out, okay, the latest $2,000, did they put that back?
Not yet, because they said now you have to do another fraud department. But see, the second time I put a password in there of my own.
A password where? A password where?
A password that they're supposed to use to be able to get into my account. But they...
No, listen, what account... Robert, if you're not listening, man, we can't talk, okay? Do you understand what account we're talking to? Can you log on to the ReliaCard account only? Is that the password you changed?
Yes, I added one. I guess before it wasn't.
Robert,
that's for the unemployment side of it.
Hold on, you're not getting us, man. I don't know how. Listen, you have an online access to your ReliaCard. Okay, I
think I do. Yes.
Yes, that's where you have to change the password. You have to change the email and the password. You have to make sure. And you have to do it because someone got a hold of it.
Someone attached their email to your account, so they have control over your stuff.
Now ReliaCard is held at U.S. Bank, right? So you have to go to U.S. Bank and you have to tell them, I need to change my online account. It's not secure. That's what you do. And then call us back, okay? We're not going to keep repeating it. And Jim about Social Security coming up right after this. 303-713.
Rights get help.
That's his problem. Somebody's on his back door big.
Yeah, and it's probably their email, so when he changes the password, they just change it back.
Yeah. Everything's back door big.
We had a guy take a TSN check, walk into our branch. What was the name of that bank?
What's TSN one?
Vectra Bank.
Oh, Troubleshooter Network.
Yeah, Troubleshooter Network. So a company check.
Yeah.
They printed it like it was the worst fake looking check you've ever seen. No watermark, nothing. $10,000 twice. Cashed it at the damn thing. They had pictures of the guys, everything, and they gave us all the money back, but they wouldn't even they wouldn't tell us anything. They said, well, we paid you back, so you're not even.
We're the victim now, not you.
Yeah, that's right. So you got nothing to do with it. But the cops, they never got in trouble.
Well, it's true. I mean, you're not the harmed party anymore.
I get that, but what is the carrier's interest to let it slide?
It probably costs more to show up to court.
They're going to end up writing that off on their end. So by making you whole,
Frank Duran, realestateman.com will do a
free market valuation of your home to tell you what he thinks it will sell for on the open market. And that's critical because it's better than just an appraisal. Things are selling for way more than an appraisal, and better than the Zillow and online guesses, and better than cash offers. It's something that he believes based on his 26 years of experience what your house will sell for. That might help you decide. Do you want to keep it and fix it up? Do you want to sell it and move on? Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. It's a free service. No obligation to list. Of course, if you do decide to list, you won't do better. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. 303-920-1622. Mark, what do you like about Genesis Solar?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll tell you the first thing I love, a 20-year guarantee on
25.
savings.
25.
25?
Yeah, 25.
Well, how much is the warranty then, 20 or 25?
25. They're both 25.
25 years guaranteed
Yeah,
savings.
yeah.
And that means they write you a check if you don't save that much.
At the end of each year, they evaluate what they said you would produce and save, and if they don't do it,
they cut
write
you a check. And if any of the equipment breaks in
25
the first
years.
25 years, they fix it?
Yeah, the 20 that you're talking about is that 20-minute evaluation of the solar. They do that by satellite, I think. They don't even have to go to
20 minutes you can find out how much they save, and they guarantee everything,
Yeah.
and you own the system.
Right, you get all the tax credits. That's GenesisSolarCO.com.
Meet Patrick Peterson, owner of a Denver company.
So Ross was telling me about that fight at East, man. Did you see the video? I haven't seen it. He says it is absolutely brutal. Two girls. Did you see it? I haven't seen it.
Go to khow.com.
It looks like shit. He said, I will. This computer's so slow. But are they saying that's because there's no cops in schools and shit, right?
Right. Yeah, well, we're going to start a fight in here about all of that noise, but okay.
Well, my God, man. I mean, the way he described it, it sounded like this chick almost died.
Oh, the fight was an atrocity, yeah.
But there was no one there. Ross was saying there's adults there saying that they won't break it up. They won't do anything.
Okay. And what's that on?
What do you mean, what's that on?
Okay.
Well, it's on those adults, but I guarantee a cop or whatever would have broken it up. You know, a security guard for that matter. I'll guarantee my high school in New Jersey still got metal detectors and guards walking into that son of a bitch.
There are environments where definitely that is beneficial.
Where'd you guys say it was, 630 KL?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who do you think it should be on? Who do you think it should be on?
Who do I think it should be on? I don't think there is a single point of pressure that should be applied. I think that police acting as police on a campus is an overstep. I think security officers or security personnel or safety personnel.
I don't think they're acting as regular police when they're. I
think they're called. It was my friend.
I think they were called school resource.
Child, 7 years old, was in handcuffs.
For what?
Being a kid. Yes, Tom, just being a kid. Okay.
They put him in handcuffs.
Put him in handcuffs.
What were they doing? Literally, what was
7 years old.
Put him in. We never found out. No. We never found out what actually was going on.
Well, what could a 7-year-old?
But that's my point, Mark.
That doesn't negate the necessity of the entire program. No. That indicates that there was a problem there. But how did
okay,
well, let me
explain the rest of the problem to you then. They had this kid in handcuffs, would not tell his parents why. Okay, when his parents showed up, there were 5 other police cars out there, and they refused him admittance to the building. And the man showed up completely, let me finish, completely in check. No one was out of line. The only thing is we have a 7-year-old boy in handcuffs, and nobody's got a clear reason why.
What about having an daughter who got the absolute shit beat out of her?
What did it turn out to be is what I'm asking you.
It did not turn out to be anything.
I mean, what were they doing? I'm not saying.
You're not okay. Listen.
Were they playing tag? What were they doing? I'm just asking.
Listen to what I'm saying, Tom. It was never completely divulged to the parent what the heck was actually going on. Why the SRO was even called.
So we'll explain to the parent who got their kids' ass whipped that we have to deal with that, and it's too bad your kid got their ass whipped, but at least we have no 7-year-olds getting handcuffed.
Okay, I understand your logic. I understand what you're saying.
I'm a parent too.
I know, and I have been a parent. My kid's 4 years old now. But when he was in school, okay, he got into a fight. okay? No one actually stopped the fight but the janitor. Okay, finally the janitor decided to come across and stop the fight. All right?
When I was in school, my principal had a paddle about that long.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303
And the name on the one that sat on me was called Jack.
Okay, hold on, we're on the air.
303-713-8255. Jim, you have a question about Social Security, and then we're going to introduce John Fuller. John Fuller's here today, and Chris wants to give him a compliment of some kind. Oh, hey, Jim, what's going on with Social Security? You have a question?
Yeah, I'm filling out my Social Security and for my pension. I was talking to my financial advisor the other day.
Yes.
He said something about, since my wife's in para and been there for like 23 years already,
right,
that she may not be able to draw any of my Social Security.
I believe it's the difference of the hire.
But she's in para now. She doesn't get Social Security. I thought to get survivor's benefits, you had to be in the program. No, maybe not. We can find out. But right now, you get regular Social Security. Right now, are you getting it?
I'm just starting to apply for it now.
Okay. Is that full? Are you 66 or are you 62?
I'm 65.
65. Okay. Are you eligible for full benefit right now?
No, but it's only reduced by $100 a month if I wait another year.
So by waiting, you get $100 more?
A month is all.
Yeah, but there's something else. I think you're limited to what you can make.
Yeah, 15,000 something.
So it's worth it to you to get it now, to get that, even though you're getting $100 less and you'll be limited to what you can make?
I don't know. I think it would be.
Okay, well, if you're getting it now you're wondering about survivor's benefits. I don't know the complete answer, but normally what happens is that the surviving spouse gets up to half of it. They either get their own benefit or up to half of their spouse's benefit, whichever is more. So they supplement their benefit to equal half of their spouse's benefit.
Whatever's higher.
Yeah, but she's not going to get Social Security.
I think
so
the
what
same
happens?
would go with para, though, but we've got to ask.
Yeah, see, that's really odd because we've never had that question. If you're getting para, you're not technically getting Social Security, so I don't know how they compensate her or if they do. I'm sure someone knows. We have to call maybe one of our financial planners.
I think John Jones knows this.
You know, John might know it just because he's a smart guy and he deals with it. Suze, is John around, John Jones, where he might know about survivor's benefits? Now, again, this is not a health insurance question, but he knows a lot about Social Security or one of our financial planners. But you hang on, Jim, and we'll get an answer. And also, we have a bunch of smart listeners. And I know someone right now saying, I know. So they can call 303-MARTINO and let us know, 303-627-8466. Chris, you want to give kudos to John Fuller? What's happening?
Hi, Tom. Did you say John's on your show today?
Yes, he is. He's right here, right now. What's going on?
Oh, and by the way, that's just a coincidence. I didn't even know he was there.
No problem, man. No problem. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to call in and give kudos to John and his team. My mother-in-law was seriously injured in a car accident back in May, and had never hired an attorney for anything, quite frankly, before, but called John because I've heard him on your show.
Sure.
And him and his team, especially Jill, they did pretty much everything for us. We never had to talk to insurance companies or worry about getting paid.
That's wonderful.
And it just, we could focus on getting my mother-in-law better and not have to worry about dealing with their insurance companies and that sort of thing.
That's the way it's supposed to be, man. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm glad that you're calling in because it's a good intro to him right now, Chris. Thank you very much. John, we were had a very interesting conversation because we all have kids. And we're talking about insurance and kids. A lot of parents put off getting their kids on their insurance because they know it's going to hike up their rates. And you're saying that could be bad news if that kid ever goes out and get injured or injures someone else. Can you explain that?
Yeah, you bet.
So let's say it's a regular household, you and your wife. All of a sudden, your kid turns 16, and you don't do anything about it, and they get a license. What happens?
Yeah, good morning. Hey, thanks to Chris. We appreciate the kind words. It was our honor to represent your mother-in-law, and we appreciate it. So thanks so much. Yeah, it's a very real issue. We all have kids that grow up and eventually get their driver's licenses, and the one thing that we all look forward to is this idea that we're going to get an enormous insurance bill as soon as they get put on the insurance, and we all of us would like to figure out how to avoid that. And unfortunately, some parents avoid it just by not telling the insurance company, and that's a problem. Now, it is true that anybody that you loan your vehicle to is considered a permissive user, and generally speaking, the insurance goes with them, and they're totally
So if
fine.
my uncle needed to borrow my car, it would
Your
be
uncle's
covered?
fine. Your uncle's covered, yeah. However, with a newly licensed driver, we look at the language of the policy, and almost every insurance policy out there has language that says if you have a newly licensed or a new driver in your household, you have to alert and let the insurance company know. And if you don't do that, they will not extend coverage no matter whether that.
So your kid then borrows a car to go to the store and gets in an accident, you could be screwed.
Not covered at all.
Now, what about a visitor to your home staying with you? That's odd, like a cousin or somebody.
Yeah, I don't think the same rule would apply. You've got to revert to the language of the policy. I think that the key issue is if they reside in your policy. Or
in your home.
household. Sorry.
Okay, but there are kids that come sometimes to live with relatives, but that could be a complication, is what you're saying.
If they're residing with you, then you need to put them on notice. Now, in the case that I had, and this kind of makes it clear, my client had a kid that was away in college and living in a dorm. And
they were not residing.
They lived there every day, but under the laws, a kid living in a dorm, that's considered temporary housing, and they're still a resident of the parent's home. And so the same rule applied. And
that's very important to know.
Because they had not alerted the insurance company about the existence of this new driver, there was zero coverage for a bad accident.
What happens if a 15-year-old who doesn't have a license decides to borrow Dad's car while
on the so-called joyride?
Yeah, and he gets into an accident.
That's not permissive use.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. They're not,
Well, John, let me put it to you this way. If someone was injured and came to you and said it was a 15-year-old and he took his dad's car, what would you do?
I'd go after the parents.
Right.
Absolutely.
For
And
what?
I'd win.
Negligence?
Negligent entrustment? Yeah, for sure.
Even if they didn't let him do it?
Insurance company pay.
I think so, yeah.
Mike, your turn. You want to talk about remodeling. What's going on?
Well, so my wife and I started this project last May 2020.
What kind of project, Mike? What kind of project?
We were just having a tub replacement and a shower replacement.
Okay.
So my wife found this company, Dream Style Remodeling.
Damn.
I
wish you would have gone to Renew Home Innovations, because I know what you're talking about, but that's not a terrible company. So what's going on?
Well, so lack of communication. I mean, we're still not done with the project.
All right, you hold on. I want to come back for specifics, and we'll call the company for you. Hang on, man. Just hang on.
You have a problem. 303-713-TALK.
Hey, John. So if
Mark, can you do these?
my nephew comes over,
Who is it? Simply Floors and Art of Granite. Listen,
and he takes the
you
car
have to do
to
the buttons, okay?
a convenience store to get a pack of cigarettes, let's say. That's covered, right? Because it's,
user.
What?
Because he's a permissive user, probably yes.
Right, even though he's only 16. He just happened to be there for the day, wants to get a pack of cigarettes, right? Okay.
Yeah, so that parent.
So you don't have an obligation
She
to
gets just the higher
notify them of any...
Hold on, Doc.
Oh, okay.
Who is it? Simply Floors who? Art?
So can a policy say no underage drivers are allowed to drive this car?
Can say anything
It depends on the what?
I said a policy can say anything it wants. I don't know that that would be a legal exclusion to just automatically say in broad strokes no underage people. But because But if you think about it, in the example of the
You know, I love talking about companies that I have
personally used numerous times. First one, simplyfloorsinc.com. Not only did they bring their showroom to me, but the kicker is they saved me up to 40% from the big box stores. And if you know me, I shop around all the time. Simplyfloorsinc.com, LVT, tile, hardwood, carpet. These guys have it all. They bring it to you, or you can visit their showroom. Simplyfloorsinc.com. Set up your appointment right now. The other one is the Art of Granite. Mitch Floria is the owner. What a great guy. You want the best looking countertops and the best cabinets in your house. You'll be the envy of the neighborhood. This guy is a professional. He's more of an artist than a contractor. His people are great. His products are great. And the countertops, when it's finished, you're going to love it. You can change that kitchen into a modern kitchen. How about that bathroom? You've been staring at that same thing forever. They just got everything up there. TheArtofGranite.com. TheArtofGranite.com.
Difference is if a parent, if an unlicensed 15-year-old took the car on a joyride, it's going to be the negligence of the parents that allowed it to happen.
Right.
So the parents are still covered. You know, whereas a licensed 16-year-old, that's considered a breach of the contract by the parents and not informing them of a new driver in the household.
So my only question was about whether you can have that brought up, say, this policy excludes all underage drivers.
I don't think you could pull that off.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know that they would have to. You know, there's no way that you can. Yeah, I don't know. That would be a tough one. But that provision that excludes drivers that they've not been given notice of has been enforced many times.
Absolutely,
you know?
I mean, you're crazy not to do it.
Right. And if they're not going to drive, which is the frequent excuse, then list them and exclude them.
Right.
Done. You know.
I think my son set the record. When he got his license, he was going to Regis. So on David's birthday, my wife and I drove 2 cars to the Regis parking lot. We took Eric to the DMV, got his license, dropped him off. On the way home from school, he got into an accident. So he had his license for exactly 2.5 hours before he got his first accident.
Oh, it's my son. My son had 3 fucking accidents. 3 fucking, the very first day he got his license, number 1. Then he rear-ended 2 other people in the next less than a month.
Oh, well, Eric said
I took his car fucking away for almost a solid 4 or 5 months.
So,
as you should.
I couldn't fucking believe it. The day I brought him down to get his license, he took the driving test, signed off. He ran into his own fucking friend probably 2 hours after he got his license.
That's what happened to Eric. It was someone he knew from school. So this girl's mother calls up. She's a single mom. She wants to sue him. I said, look, don't report it. There wasn't that much time. I said, you fix your car, we'll fix our car. Trust me, it's going to be 10 times cheaper than calling an insurance company. The cops weren't called, a little friendly vendor. I said, go talk to, somebody who knows what they're doing. So she called back the next day with her tail between her legs and said, you're right. I talked to my brother-in-law, whoever it was. We'll just fix our car, you fix yours. I mean, the damage to our car was like less than $1,000.
Right.
So my insurance, I mean, you can't even fucking guess how much mine went up. Till this day, we have myself, Suzanne, and both kids on our policy. We have $500,000, and then we have just whatever. We have all the shit we're supposed to have. I just renewed $11,000 a year, and that's with 20% cash discount. If I didn't pay that 20%, I paid $13,000 something a fucking year. And that's just for progressive.
This one mom, is an Italian mom. She's following her kid home, and her kid gets pulled over by a cop. Just get pulled over. So like mothers are. She goes like this. She sees her kid being pulled over by police. So she pulls over her car and gets out and starts going to the police. Officer, what's going on? That's my son. They tackle her, throw her to the ground, handcuff her. I swear to God. Now, I know this was on a traffic. Now I know
you were there.
Now, but I didn't get, I was driving by, but there's another.
They went after you, though.
No, I'll tell you about that one. But this is where police get a bad name. I know they say, oh, it's for safety and all this, but it's just,
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the show. And listen, I want to tell you about, since we're on the topic of these bathrooms, Renew Home Innovations does that shower and tub replacement. And they're really, really good people. And I urge you, if you're thinking about that, like Mike, and I'm not throwing stones at this other company. We're going to call and try to get some help. But while I'm on the topic, Renew Home Innovations is the one that I recommend for these premium showers and tubs and tub shower combinations. I like to call them shubs. Anyway, it's renewhomeinnovations.com, like a shub. Anyway, it's 303-904-2000. He has special financing and special pricing for veterans and seniors. 303-904-2000, renewhomeinnovations.com. Now let's talk about what happened, Mike, with Dreamstyle. As I said, I don't think that they're a terrible company. We don't get a lot of complaints about them. So let's talk about the issue, okay? Let's talk about the issue. What about the tub and shower replacement? Did you get any work done at all? Let's start there.
Yes, we got work done. They came in and they had to order.
How much of it's done? Is it done? Is it in the middle? Tell me what percentage did you get done?
Well, per them, technically it's 100% done. They put the tub, put the shower in. They've had to redo the tub twice because they wedged the tub in between. It's a freestanding tub that they wedged in an alcove area.
Yeah.
So when they wedge it, they crack it. And it's like I told them, I'm not accepting the cracked, repaired tub.
They think it's done. And it's not. Did you say it's cracked?
Yeah, it's cracked on the edge. So they came back out, put another tub in, because I had to fight with them. I'm not.
All right. What happened then?
So they put that in. Well, they had to shave it down. Then they cracked it. Again, it's cracked in the same spot because it's wedged in between there. It's sticking a little bit into the drywall. Which, all they would have to do is come up there and say, hey, you know what, Mr. Ferguson, Mrs. Ferguson, even though I know we got a tub and we've taken one out, the guy doing the job, we probably should maybe really reconsider, because I don't know that this is going to work properly.
Well, where does it stand this minute? This minute, where does it stand? Right now. Right now. You got the other tub. Where does it stand?
Well, right now, we're in the middle of arguing with them about, what they want to do to have another company come in and redo it and do it correctly. I mean, I have a tub that's cracked. My wife hasn't used that tub in our master bath in over a year.
Wait, it's been there. Wait, this has been going on with Dreamstyle over a year?
Yeah.
Hold on. When did you contract with them?
In May of 2020.
Contract in May 2020. Okay, listen. This obviously is going to take.
I think these are the bath overs, right? Did they go over your old tub?
I don't think it is. I think it's just a new shower or bath replacement. Hold on, Mike, and we'll get someone on it. We have to figure out what's going on, okay? This has been going on for a year. I didn't realize that. Somebody must have signed off.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness?
I think these are the fit overs.
Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin with serious side effects but little to no relief? Hi, Pat Woodard, a neuropathy treatment center of Colorado, is here to tell you you don't have to live with this.
I think that I got on mine is most of my doctors should be pregnant. I think that 150, and I may or may not is that most educators don't think it's their duties to jump in the middle of teaching a child how to read is not the same thing as jumping in the midst of that.
Doc, I'm the most proactive fucking man you've ever met.
I know that. I can't stomach the idea that is so easy to let these happen without any context going on.
I agree with you.
That's a good idea.
John, you want coffee, water, anything? Anybody?
I still don't have fucking Sweet Love. Damn it.
So although I'm not a Tom's fan, I've done school defense for years. I'm no fan of the police. But I'm also a pragmatic guy that says maybe the least bad solution of them all.
Well, okay, and this is where we have a risk. The least bad solution, okay, has been the solution that's been being applied since they took the paddle out of my school, okay? And I know I'm 20 years your senior, okay? You're not 50, are you? I'm 70, okay? In the dock, we equipped you a bit. When they took the paddle out of my school, okay, they started applying the least bad solution. And shit's gone downhill since then.
Hey, I was in that school a long time after you were.
So yeah, this is what I'm saying. So things are really, really in an atrocious.
Are you talking about literal or figurative corporal punishment?
I'm talking about literal corporal punishment. I'm talking about figurative corporal punishment.
Well, literal corporal punishment is wrong.
But see, that's not the argument that we're trying to get into right now. What I'm trying to get to is the systems are actually broken. Okay? And they do need redesign, replacement, something. Okay. But what they call what's the word that they use when they go into they're going to fix something and they really don't fix it, they just fuck it up more. Okay, this is where we're going right now, huh?
The UN sent a special representative and humanitarian coordinator in Afghanistan is saying food shops in the country could run out as soon as this month. Ramesh Alaksarov is reporting that more than half of those under 5 years old are suffering from extreme malnutrition, and more than 1/3 of citizens are not getting enough to eat. Trucks have been crossing to nearby Pakistan to deliver supplies. The UN's World Food Program could run out of stock by the end of September. Inez Delapetera, ABC News, Foreign Desk.
Ike Chachi, ABC News.
My daughter would never have been in that situation, only perhaps as a victim, but would never have injected herself into schoolyard fights and shit, because whatever that girl could have done to her would have paled in comparison to what her dad would have done when she got home.
Exactly.
Right? So that's a difference.
But see, these differences, okay, those differences that you can apply to your family, that Mark can apply to his family, that I apply to my family. Okay,
I admit that they're different for other people. They are.
No, but we become, no matter how many differences there are, we become the exceptions. Okay?
Right, but I'm not going to accept the lowest common denominator as the baseline.
That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm saying is we become the exception. Okay? And by virtue of any success that we have, we should also become the models, okay? Because your daughter still lives in fear of coming home. Okay?
Even at 30 years old.
Let me tell you, my son is 40. He's bigger than I am, meaner than I am, and all kinds of shit. I told that boy, I said, I will cut your nuts like you never had them. And he backed up and sat down. I'm like, okay. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yes, you see what I'm saying? Because these are the boundaries that we've established, okay? And my dad, when he could not get up and walk across the room, would look at me, and I'd say, okay, what do you want?
Okay. Yeah, you know, but you hit the nail on the head. With one word.
That's right. That's the part that I don't like. And none of
kids have dads, they behave.
That's true too.
I know a mother with 5
Wait,
sons.
I'm just saying in general.
Where she runs.
In general, when kids have dads, they behave.
Okay.
Better.
No.
What? I say universally.
I was referring to my dad.
What the fuck did you just say? You think that's the best?
I think in general,
We can go into it really bad.
Man, you don't. No. I'm serious. I think sometimes it's the opposite, man. I think.
When was your dad out of your life?
That's fine. But you have maternal, like strong moms that bond with their kids.
Well, you also have weak-ass moms.
Well, and weak-ass dads, you're right. I don't think it matters. I think
I think
your
it
family
matters.
is good. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, mom and dad.
I think it's way better having both.
Of course
Always.
it is.
Always.
Of course it is. But I don't think it's the deciding factor. I don't think it's the deciding factor.
I don't think there's any one thing that we need to address. I think there's at least 20 things that have to be dealt with quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if we don't, we're in the handbasket, and it's already sliding to hell.
Labor Day sale ever on top-rated brands like Sealy.
Although parents do fuck up a lot, I see parents just let their kids like just, I don't know, it's like this new parenting shit, just let them be. I don't.
Well, that's just all.
Any kid that is under 40 years old right now was probably raised by a kid that got little to no discipline. Why? Because that corporal punishment, that rule of law that we came up under was gone. Okay? Once you stop disciplining, once you stop extending, once you stop having something that overlaps. Well, I knew that when I got home from school, if my teacher had said anything, I was done for. I knew that before I went to school, if my parent had said anything to the school, that they were ready for me.
But I never spanked my kid, and he grew up to be. I don't think you need corporal punishment to raise a good kid.
I'm not saying corporal punishment. I'm not saying that
there's got to be consequences.
There's got to be.
But a lot of it depends on the kid. Some kids, nowadays, taking a phone away would be the worst fucking thing you could do. In fact, I bet my kids, if I said, you want 5 paddles, you want your phone gone, they'd bend the fuck over.
You know, a lot of kids don't have consequences.
It's 10 seconds.
No consequences at all, Tom. We're agreeing on that.
But the consequences shouldn't be bad.
No.
I don't know if I agree with that guy.
Okay, well, I don't think you hit kids.
Well, it's a little different. Spanking.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. Well, what's the answer? You know, we talk off the air all the time, and I don't let you in on it. I'm going to let you in on it. Should we spank our children or not? I'm not talking about beating them. I'm talking about spanking. And I didn't say you should or shouldn't. I'm just wondering what you think. You know, I think kids need to have consequences. We need to know that there are consequences associated with our behavior. Should you spank your kids? Some people say no. Some people say yes. I would be a hypocrite if I say, yeah, you should spank, because I've never spanked my kids. Well, hold on. I did spank their bottom, I think. Not like out of anger. I think that's the worst thing in the world. And obviously, I don't think you should beat them around the head and all that stuff, you know, or I don't like sticks and all that. But I think slight corporal punishment when they're little on the backside doesn't hurt them. I'm not talking about, like, you know, taking a kid that's 9, 10 years old, laying them across a bench and beating the hell out of them. I'm not talking about that, but I guess I swatted my kid on the backside and say, no, you know, I've done that, but I never was big on that.
But there should be consequences. I just don't think consequences...
You don't believe in any corporal punishment, right?
Right, but I do believe in consequences. That if
I know what you mean.
They're responsible for their actions,
punishment.
and you teach them that there is punishment.
Yeah, I get it.
I just don't think you should spank them. That's all.
Yeah, and I've seen kids spank that aren't. There's really, I think, a difference between spanking and hitting. Really, I'm talking about spanking in a loving way, not in a mean, not out of anger or like, don't you ever, like, I'm talking about more of a correction. And I don't think, I wouldn't like it, I guess, when they get older. I don't know, but I've never thought about it that much because it was never a central part of my parenting.
Tom.
I don't know. What do you think, Talib?
Tom,
what do you think?
By the time a kid is 9 years old, there should be an absolute discipline protocol established within that home.
Yeah.
If not, then you're looking at a failed house.
But what I'm saying is, you're right. Discipline is important. But what do you think about if you start out swatting here and there, spanking, but you don't continue it when they're 8 or 9?
Okay, depending on your child.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to gain their attention. Okay, how do you gain your child's attention? How do you gain a toddler's attention?
Yeah.
Okay, well, once you know that, like I'm saying, by the time you get 9 or 10 years old, you know what they're into. You know what moves them. You know what pushes their button.
I never asked you this before, and I've known you for years, but Mark knew you better. Do you have kids?
I have one. I have 2 kids. I have a stepdaughter and a son.
Did you raise your stepdaughter from a baby?
I raised my son from day one. Yeah.
Well, yeah, your son. But what about your stepdaughter?
She was, I think, about 11, and her her mom had her well.
No. What about your son? Did you and your wife spank your son ever?
When my son was real small,
yeah,
I used to get his attention.
Yeah,
okay?
That's right.
Okay, just get his attention.
Right.
Once he realized
what he did wrong,
what I wanted. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once he realized what I wanted, then he kind of started to cooperate.
But when he was older, you didn't have to do that, right?
When he was older, he kind of got away from me. He moved to California.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and when
that was way older, right?
14, 15.
Oh, with his mom, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And when he moved to California, his life changed. So did mine. But when he came back here, he was a little bit different from how he left.
Better or worse? He didn't have consequences?
Less disciplined, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the point is, I think we all agree there's got to be some correction.
You got to have a mechanism.
You got to have some correction and some direction for your kids. You do. I mean, by the way, John Fuller's with us, Fuller Law, and John was talking about some interesting insurance things. If you have, speaking of kids in your household and they get licenses, you need to notify your insurance company or get them covered, or you won't have coverage and you'll be highly exposed and in big trouble, okay? Or anyone residing in your household. And John has said this before, the cheapest thing in the world is insurance. I mean, because he goes after people all the time. And he knows that a well-insured person is safe. John, but I'm always a believer that you insure for what you have to lose. Because really and truly, if you go after a workaday guy who's working his ass off for his family, doesn't have a lot of money, doesn't have much to take, and he insures, there's no reason for him to carry a couple $1 million in insurance. If he carries a good amount of insurance, most likely, in most accidents, they're going to settle for that insurance and not try to go after him personally. If you look at a perpetrator, for lack of a better word, John, don't you size up the collectability? Isn't that one of your jobs?
Well, sure. Tom, here's the deal. I think that's a small component of an insurance analysis is, what do I stand to lose?
Yeah.
What's your own health worth to you?
No, that's true.
I mean, here's the reality. I am a believer that there's nothing more important than you can buy than uninsured motorist coverage, okay? So that's really where the analysis starts with me. At least when I buy insurance, it's how much money do I want to make sure is there
for me
if the guy next to me has no insurance,
right?
Or worse yet,
no, that's for sure.
$25,000,
but that again,
minimal limits.
But that's again insuring your own self or your own wealth.
I get it, Tom, but it's not just about what I have to lose. It's what the hell am I going to do with $25,000 if I have $700,000 of medical bills and I'm not able to make a living anymore?
No, I know. Yeah,
right.
I get you. But again,
so that's where the analysis starts.
Yeah, from your own
To
perspective.
but I'm still protecting me.
Right. But that's also the same when you get liability. It's protecting you.
What am I doing to protect myself? Yeah.
Right, with proper liability. Now, if you're worth millions, people are going to come after you if you only have $50,000 in coverage. They're going to say, no, we don't want to settle. Now, if you don't have anything and the insurance company says settlement limits will settle with you, $50,000, you'll take it.
Yep.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. So the more you have to lose, the more you have to insure, just because the math says the attorney will come after you. They won't come after someone they're never going to collect from. I don't think they do. Have you ever had clients that go after someone just because they want that judgment, even though they can't collect it right now? Yes?
Absolutely.
Has it ever worked out in the future, maybe? They collect on it or what? What does it do?
But some things are about principle.
Yeah, okay. All right, I get it. Okay.
Yeah,
303-713-TALK. And let's go to Mike now. Now, Mike, on this remodeling, okay, I want to take it one step at a time. You signed a contract in May of 2020 with Dream Style, right?
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Okay, and it was to do a bath and tub combo?
Yes.
And supposedly they were finished with it, and you were unhappy because the tub was cracked, so they replaced it once, right?
Well, yeah. So yeah, when they replaced it once and everything, they had one guy install this whole thing, which is amazing that he was able to move a 72-inch freestanding tub upstairs by himself.
I get it, and I get you going through all the headaches you had for sure. But what I'm trying to boil it down to is what headaches still exist, and why do they exist more than a year later?
Well, we still have a tub, so they finally, when they got me another tub, they came out this March, so 16th and 17th,
right,
and reinstalled a new tub.
That's the first time that cracked tub was installed is this year.
Yeah, the one that's currently in there now, yes.
Okay, so what's still a problem? Just get to that part.
Okay, the tub is cracked.
Again?
The edge of it, if you put... Yes, again.
Wait a minute. They replaced a cracked tub with another cracked tub, or did it get cracked?
It got cracked by them installing it.
Well, that's the sickest thing. Wait a minute. So did you note that right at the time?
As soon as we were basically, the 2 days were done, we noticed the tub was cracked. The guys that were there, 3 of them, I mean, let's just say were the most unprofessional that I've ever seen in my life doing something that. I mean, I have a driveway cam and a doorbell cam with a driveway camera.
Okay, so hold on. They cracked it. Did they say to you, "Oh man, we cracked it. We're going to have to do it again"?
Nope. I didn't even sign off on it.
Okay, well then does Dreamstyle recognize that they owe you a tub?
Well, they keep saying they want to repair it, and I don't want a repaired tub. I want a tub
hold
that is
on.
adequate.
Suze, if you could do me a favor, I just want, and Nick may not want to do this, but I'd like to get Nick's perspective just because he's in the business, okay? He's in the business. He knows all the business. I just want to get his perspective on repair and all that. And I'm not trying to talk you into anything, Mike, okay? Hang on. And also, Jim wants to talk about, we're going to get your answer.
He has a car title question.
The roller coaster stock market.
So it would seem to me, John, that if I were in an accident,
Market volatility
that someone caused, and it was somebody who
your retirement Saturday on 630 K House.
It didn't stop the time we were in, as opposed to somebody who was drunk and didn't stop the time. I would be more anxious to go after the drunk and punish him for drunk driving than a person who, all right, you know, I didn't break in time.
Rocky Mountain IV Medics.com. Rocky Mountain IV Medics does hydration therapy or IV therapy in the comfort of your home or office. In my case, the studio. Suze, are they coming next week? Rocky Mountain IV Medics? I get it once a month. You can too. You can get it at home or in your office. And here's the great part. You won't pay any more than you would going to a hydration bar. So why not have them come to you? Medical professionals. You can call or text for same-day appointments. Whether you have COVID and need to get over that, it helps get over everything, of course. That's the #1 therapy for almost everything. Dehydration, migraines, hangovers. Call or text. Same day, same hour appointments sometimes. 720-987-2155. 720-987-2155. You know, what I love about attorneys is when they freely give out information. I talk about John Fuller, how if you're in an accident, you call him, he'll discuss it with you free of charge. And I also like that about Mile High Estate Planning, which is now Blake Harris Law. Yeah, call him, ask him questions. Hey, do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need a will? Do I need more than a will? BlakeHarrisLaw.com. He'll discuss it at 833-ASK-BLAKE. He doesn't charge for the conversation. He only charges when you retain him and there's no obligation. But when you do, it's flat rates for whatever he does for you. BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE.
Maybe you have a loved one who forgets routine tasks more than usual, like letting the...
That they take the circumstances into account when they try and get to somebody.
Oh, aren't there egregious circumstances that make awards easier to get, like when somebody's drunk or something?
No, what I'm saying is, if somebody hit me from behind and it was an accident, if someone hit me from behind and I was drunk, I would want to punish them. Whereas in the former case, I wouldn't want to punish them. I just want to be made whole.
Oh, well, that's all you're entitled to be.
Wait, are there ever additional damages because of penalties or punitive?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so there are punitive damages.
There are, but they're not covered by insurance.
Oh.
So you have to go to them in court.
Right. I mean, that's the difference. And so
an insurance company would actually say, we're going to pay that part, but not punitive.
They're not under any obligation to pay punitive.
So if the court awarded so much, do they break it down? Do juries break it? Okay. Wow. That's a good point. We got to talk about punitive.
There was the money.
There's a guy on YouTube called Steve Lato. Do you know who he is? He's an attorney in Michigan. Does a lot of really interesting YouTube stuff. You should check it out sometime. And there was a case that just got decided in Michigan where they awarded $1 billion, which is going to get, tossed out anyway. What?
Which they'll never collect. Right.
I mean, it's crazy. So it was $100 million in pain and suffering. Some 18-year-old kid got hit by a tractor trailer while he was stopped, and they awarded $900 million in punitive damages, which is ridiculous.
Maybe.
I mean, $900 million.
Maybe. Would you step into their shoes for that amount of money? Then it maybe wasn't ridiculous. I mean, in a vacuum, that's a big number. It's a shock to conscience kind of number. But is it the wrong number? I don't know. I don't know, right? I just don't know enough information. Here's the bottom line, and you're wanting to inject a moral litmus test about whether you should go after somebody if it was just an accident versus some intentional conduct, and I get that, but the reality is that all we're really ever looking for is to be made whole. Only in and purely from an intellectual standpoint, the purpose of punitive damages has very little to do with you, the victim. Rather, it's designed to punish the actor and to speak to the community that this behavior is not to be tolerated. Okay, it's not so much about and any damages that you assess under a punitive theory have nothing to do with making you whole. They're not part of what makes you whole.
Right.
Because what makes you whole would be on the negligent side of the case.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, you make great points.
So it's a matter, and for us generally, it's more important to find insurance coverage than to get a judgment against somebody.
Because insurance pays.
I gotta go chase Tom's ass down.
No, you're right. It sucks. Speaking of that, I know we don't want to get into
fly right off in his helicopter.
Have you had success?
Yeah.
But John, in the past, have you had success going after rich guys or guys with money or not?
Rich guys have enough insurance. Why the hell?
Oh, okay. Well, have you ever had to collect from individuals?
I've never successfully collected from an individual.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere. Listen, Harris Family Law is another law firm. We love law firms that do their jobs. Harris Family Law does family law in such a good, non-confrontational way, yet they do defend you vigorously if you're in a family, in a divorce, a separation, child custody. Now, they put children first, and they put families first, and they do non-confrontational law. It's called collaborative law. They actually get the other parties to agree to this, and they agree to settle everything outside of court to save money. You ought to look into it. Harris Family Law. And they're good people. 303-515-5000. They can do unbundled services, too. They do as much or as little representation as you want, and you can even do some of the work yourself if you want. 303-515-5000, harrisfamilylaw.com. Nick Fox is with us. Nick is with Renew Home Innovations. And, of course, I only use Nick as a sounding board. I'm not asking him to, obviously call fire down on a company or not. But I need to get some opinions. Nick, Mike had Dream Style. And I told him, I think I've heard of Dream Style. I don't think they're a terrible company at all, right, Nick?
I know they're in the industry of doing bathroom modeling.
Okay, you're being diplomatic. Got it. Okay, now what I'd like to ask is this. What causes twice for them to install a tub and crack it? What causes that? Can you think of why that could happen?
Well, I mean, if a tub is cracking twice, I would look towards the installation process first. I would try to determine whether it's a bad installation. I mean, one time I can understand, but if it's two times, I mean, it kind of, I would look at how they're installing it. That being said, though, tubs can come cracked and they can be faulty by the manufacturer. Most of the times, manufacturers will stand behind them, but again, it really just depends on how the tub is installed.
Okay, what I'd like to know is, I don't know how to ask this. If you would is DreamStyle on the upper end or the lower end of quality as far as the manufacturers they use? Do you know?
I really don't know. I mean, I know that I've heard of the company. I know who they are, but I wouldn't know the products that they're currently using.
All right. Now, they were offering to repair a crack. What would that look like, and is that possible to truly be good? I mean, like new?
So it's interesting, Tom. When you're dealing with a cracked acrylic tub, yes, they can be repaired. But I know if it were me and if it were my customer, I certainly would not want to have a cracked tub if I just installed it. Now, if it's a warranty issue, meaning the tub's been installed and it's a warranty problem, I certainly would go the route of trying to get it repaired first and then ultimately.
Can they be repaired 100% cosmetically perfect?
Cosmetically, yes. How long that will last, I have no idea, but I know that we have had to do a similar practice. We've had manufacturers would actually come and do that. I remember Kohler had a tub that was cracked that ultimately they sent out a repairman, and they scrape it down, they resurface it, and it kind of gives it a new surface. So there are ways to do it. But
wouldn't you think you'd have to give that company the opportunity to at least fix it? They installed it, it cracked. How about if you had your car at a shop and they scratched something?
No, I understand, but Mark, no. This is when they're, let's say, the proper analogy is this. They were installing a brand new tub, and that brand new tub cracked. So if they were delivering you a brand new car, and that brand new car got dented, I think it was in the process of something brand new that bothers them. It's not that they were at the house and happened to do some other damage that can be repaired. It's the item itself.
Did it crack in the same place twice?
Did it crack in the same place twice? Good question. Mike?
Yes, it's cracked in the same place twice.
Really? Where is that by chance? Where is that?
I actually just sent you guys an email of the tub that's cracked.
Okay.
A photo, a video of the tub squeaking on the edge. I mean, this is like that.
It sounds like it's not supported properly is what it sounds like to me, Nick. It sounds like it's...
So... That's an installation issue.
Hold on, Nick. You were saying it's an installation issue for sure.
So anytime you're installing a tub or a shower pan, you put them in a mortar bed, and if you're hearing any type of squeaking, that is an installation issue. So I would absolutely go to the company and demand a new tub if it's cracked, because that's the problem.
See, I agree, Nick. Thank you very much. He's with Renew Home Innovations. Yep. .com 303-904-2000. Mike, listen, man, I'm gonna put somebody on this for you. Okay?
Hey, can I just? I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've sent video. I've been in touch with these guys. They're a lawyer, and I'll just tell you, like, we even talked to the owner. It took like 6 months, it seems like, of emails to finally get a hold of the owner. And this is basically what he told me. He goes, I was at the airport in Phoenix. I got a hamburger, a $16 hamburger. There was no mustard. There's no ketchup. It was dry. It just wasn't good. I didn't ask for my money back. I just ate it and accepted it.
Well, listen. If this guy doesn't care that much about his company, by the way, this hairline crack that I'm seeing, now, you're not going to want to hear this from me. I would accept it being fixed if it was cosmetically perfect, but The thing that would bother me is that it's not installed properly. So if they could shore it up so there's no flex and repair the crack, I would personally accept it. But this other trim work you're showing is damn sloppy around the wall, the drywall there. Is that really how they left it?
That's how they left it.
You know what? I want Smarty Pants to take a shot at this. One of our deputies. So you were actually on the phone with the owner and with the attorney, and the way you left it was, the way he left it was, you shouldn't want your money back, which I agree. But did he agree he should at least do something about it?
Well, yeah, they were like, yeah, we'll come in, and they want to come in and do it. But here's the other problem I have. When they were in the driveway, the one guy who was the main guy on this second install called my wife and I retards.
Oh, my God. Really? Listen. I can't tell you. This is crazy, the way they're treating you. I want Deputy Smarty Pants to just call them and ask what they propose to do. I really believe this. If they can shore it up, that crack is in a spot where it's not going to be that noticeable if they can fix it cosmetically perfectly. You know, like, and you can with acrylic. I'm not suggesting that that's the optimum result, but I wouldn't want them to tear it all out again because they're doing more damage. I think as long as they can shore it up so there's no flex and then fix that crack. But let's see what Deputy Smarty Pants, let's just at least let him talk to that manager. I can't believe they're on the phone with the attorney and the owner saying, hey, you know, you get what you.
I'm Tom Martino. More coming up.
Shoot some more foam
I
under
like
it.
mustard on my cheeseburger.
This is terrible.
Shoot some more foam under it.
Doc, you brought up something else I want to bring up. What was it? I said you need to bring it up. You were talking punitive damages.
Yeah, punitive damages.
But was there something before you?
No, we're talking about. No, John and I were talking about punitive damages.
What you drawing, Doc?
Nothing, I'm just doodling.
I Google too, by the way. Your name, huh?
Yep. Different styles and calligraphy.
Hey.
Fox 31 pinpoint weather, a 30% chance for storms today with a high of 82. Tonight's low 59, and then more chances for rain tomorrow with a high of 84. Currently, it's 74. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW. Get a king bed for a queen price at Mass. $500 during the best Labor Day sale ever on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more.
TheArtOfGranite.com. That's the website where you can go and find out about the Art of Granite for countertops, whether it be granite, of course, quartz, marble, or any solid surface, any man-made surface, because he deals in all of them. And I'm talking Mitch Floria and his team. You will love the way they do business. It's wholesale on all materials. And then what they do is they fabricate and install.
They tear out and haul away free, and they do the bathroom vanity free when you do the kitchen. So you can get a price on the phone. That's 303-386-5919. That's 303-386-5919. Hey, I want to remind you that One Clear Choice Garage Doors is the garage door company you can call 24/7 for emergencies or for an inspection for $80. They go through the whole garage door system, or, of course, you can always call them for regular service. These guys are great. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They take care of all of your garage door needs, and all of their prices are on the website, OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
Do you know anyone that needs a new car?
He's not here for master, so I wanted to keep us on the clock. I'll tell him.
Place still looks like a ghost town out here.
You know, everywhere that I talk to people, you know, they're all experiencing that. Like, life has changed. Life has changed. I mean, no one's really coming back 100%.
Yeah. What's your background to it?
IT.
IT.
This is Kurt Cambier. Visit my website now.
Network administrator, supervisor for AT&T until '94.
Okay. With a K. CAMBIR.com.
University of California, Irvine, information and computer science.
Yeah.
Cambridge Investment Research.
So this wasn't your first trip to the barbecue.
Actually, I had a couple of them.
A couple barbecues.
Yeah. Born and raised in California.
Yeah.
Los Angeles. I claim everything tier 1 of the Canada on that coast.
Right. Makes you a cash offer for your house. And when your home sells for more, you get the difference. No longer do you have to choose between an easy home sale or the best price for your home. Let me tell you about Rudy, a recent Orchard customer. Rudy's home sold on the market for $33,000 above his cash offer.
Such a pain. I have to move.
To a home buying company.
I'm having a townhouse built, but because of the supply chain, they have no idea when it's going to be ready. They said it could be 8 months, 12 months, 18 months. So I have to move out of my house into a temporary place this week.
You go online and enter your
I'm so happy that that is changing right now. Like, lumber's down from like the spot commodity price for lumber's down from like 1,600 down to like high 4s right now, and I'm just thrilled to death that that's happening because I mean the market for all things construction is just out of control right now. Labor availability, materials, everything is just not.
So with this particular Cobalt building it, so the price wasn't an issue as much as it was the supply chain. They just can't get the stuff.
Is the sleep gels. I've always had a problem with sleep.
So luckily I purchased it before all the price increases. But the price is okay. It's just a delay in the building. They don't know when they can get all the stuff in.
For athletes to use pre and post.
I'm the same way. I've got a door ordered that normally would take like between 4 to 5 weeks. I mean, literally give you a 5-day window when it should be there.
By using promo code,
and they won't even commit sometime within 6 months. They're like,
it's crazy.
CBD.
It'll be there when it gets there. You're like, all right then. That's awesome.
And Cobalt, they sent out an email saying, look, we understand because of supply, if any of you guys want your money back, we'll give you your money back. If you earn this money, you get out of the deal.
How did you know it was my birthday?
When's your birthday?
The 4th. Do you know I was born on a Friday? I happened to look that up when I had to put down my birth date, you know, where they drop down calendar. I didn't realize it was a Friday. That's a cool day to be born. A Friday.
Well, I didn't want to be born on a Friday. I was born on the 13th.
I'll bet you that's a cool day to be born on. Friday, don't you think it is? Day to be born on. No, I meant, yeah, you're right. I meant it's like the weekend, you know, coming up. You want to be I'm going to give him a shout out. So anyway.
Pet meds? You're taking pet meds now?
Yeah.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. John Fuller was with us from Fuller Law. You know, and I say free legal advice about when you're injured in a car accident, and every once in a while he'll get a call about just anything, right? Well, give me an idea of a call you've gotten totally unrelated to what you do. Because what I say is, if you're in an accident, he'll help you evaluate it, figure out what you should do, if you need an attorney. And really, I mean that, by the way. There's no obligation. He talks over the facts and details. So, but obviously sometimes people hear, hey, John Fuller, legal advice. Can you recall any calls you've gotten not related to accidents?
Most of them start with Mark giving out my phone number. Okay.
You know, that would be funny. I would never do that to you, but that would be funny. In any case, didn't you get a few calls though about people who bought cars and were unhappy? I thought you told me one time.
Yeah, we get everything. I mean, you know, and I try to help people.
Yeah,
even if it's not really our forte.
Yeah,
I try to send people in the right direction, but you know, it's. As you know, I mean, your whole career has been helping people that get in these situations and just don't have any real viable way out. And really, my office is the same way. We get people that call for crazy stuff that you just, you know, you want to start with what made you think calling me was a good idea? But,
I know.
But really and truly, it's, you know, if you can help people, you can help people, and we try to do it.
Now,
you know.
Jim called about that Social Security thing, and Sue's researched that. And he had a good question. Now, normally, under normal circumstances, when you have a husband and wife, the one who gets lesser Social Security gets a survivor benefit usually. And here's how it works. Your husband's or wife's benefit, you get half of it if it's more than yours. So let's say you get, you know, whatever you get, and half of his is more. They supplement yours to meet half of his, of what it would be, or half of hers. But he said, would that work if my wife doesn't get Social Security at all because she's on para, which is what teachers have, and if you work in the para system, you don't get Social Security. So, Suze, what did our experts say?
Our expert, Tom, said, yes, she's entitled to the survivor benefits, but based on that amount, her para will be reduced.
Oh. Okay. So if she decides to take it then, if half of his is going to be more, she takes that.
Yes, if that makes more sense, and it's percentage based.
Otherwise,
our expert said.
She keeps her para.
Yep.
So Jim, she's not aced out of Social Security altogether. You got it, Jim? I think he's still. Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So what they said was, if her para is more, she should keep it. If not, she can elect to get survivor benefits. Okay.
I thought he told me it was the other way. If her para was equal to mine, she couldn't get any Social Security.
That's right. That's exactly right. If it's equal or more, she won't get anything. If it's less, then she would elect to get survivor benefits instead of her benefit.
And even if she got Social Security and not para, it still works the same way.
It does.
She's not going to get double.
Right. I think you're in good shape. Sherry, you have a question on a car title. I'm Tom Martino, and by the way, anyone listening, call with any inquiries, problems, complaints. Don't go into this long weekend with a problem. 303-713-TALK. What's going on with your car title, Sherry?
So the car title I co-signed with my son.
Okay.
I recently paid it off, and in about 4 to 6 weeks I'll get the title. However, it's his car. I have no idea to even hold on to that type of thing. I just want to release my name off the title to him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be a Texas title or Colorado.
Who's holding the title? Who's holding the title?
It's a finance company out of Denver. It's Canvas.
And where does he live?
He lives in Texas, and the car was purchased in Texas.
Then it's going to be a Texas title.
Okay, so I guess and then beyond that question, because I have to find out what DMV laws are for Texas then.
Yeah, Texas.
As far as...
I want to ask you, I got a couple of questions for you, Sherry. You said you co-signed with your son on the loan. Were you actually put on the title?
Yes, I asked Canvas if my name was going to be on the title, and they said absolutely yes, it was.
Okay, because that's not always the case, and that's wise. If you're co-signing on a loan, you should have title rights in case you ever have a problem. So, okay, here's the bottom line.
Right.
What's going to happen is they're going to do a release of title, okay, and it's going to be sent to motor vehicle, and motor vehicle is going to process it and send it to you guys without a lien on it. Or in some cases, they just have to mark it satisfied on the title, and they don't issue a new one. I don't know how Texas does it.
I do know that I'm going to be issued a paper title with both of our names on it.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I release it back to him correctly.
Well, okay.
And I may
The way
have
you
to do
release
that
it back is as if you are. It's exactly the same as if you were going to sell it to somebody, except it's for zero consideration, or you can do $1. Some people do $1. I don't know why, and I don't know if it's necessary. But you simply, it's the two of you signing it over to the one of you.
Okay. And then the next question.
And there should be a place right on that title to do it, and then ideally you send that in, and he gets another title with just his name on it.
So, can I send it in, or do I actually have to physically show up in Texas to do that?
No, you don't have to show up. No. Otherwise, car dealers would have people all over. But it might have to be notarized. You have to. I'm not up on Texas, but the two of you would sign it over to him, and then you send it in. And I don't think you have to be there.
The title could be
and/or though.
Just get it registered in Colorado. Yeah. Just take your
but
Texas
he lives
title
there.
Well, so what?
I
Both
would,
people
but
can
he
sign
lives
it.
in Texas, and he has Texas plates.
Okay, well then you can sign the title over to him and let him deal with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Just sign it over. But but he's actually going to sign it to himself too. You're both signing it over to him, I believe. Now they talked about these guys are talking about a beneficiary title, a title and/or. I don't know of any car titles like that. I know there's a beneficiary title.
I've had one.
It can be either or.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mark Major or Suzanne Major.
It's not it's or.
Yeah, or.
Really? Hold on. What's the purpose of that, though? I don't understand that. In case you die, you don't have to do anything with it?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
Could we call a car dealer? I just want, out of curiosity, to know what that's all about, because I do know there's also beneficiary titles now for cars, so people can do that in estate planning. But, keep listening, and no matter what, you'll be edified. I think, though, you're on the right track. You simply sign it over. Now, 303-713-TALK. What car dealer can we call? Whatchamacallit?
I have a good expert, Tom. I was going to reach out to.
Okay, reach out to him, or we can call Jim. Clyde, you have a comment on that bathtub contractor, Dream Style, basically told the guy, hey, listen, I didn't get a perfect burger, and I just ate it, and that's it. I mean, I didn't throw a fit. What do you think, Clyde?
Well, I got a quick question. Where's the crack at?
Okay, it seems to be from the picture, the photo, it's on the lip, I think. Like it goes, you know how if you're going to get up out of the tub and you put your hand on the outside of the tub and your other hand, let's say, on the wall, and you're standing, where your hand would be on the lip of that tub, it looks like it's at the bottom of that lip. That's what it looked like, right, guys, as far as that photo goes? That's what it looked like.
So it's on the very top of the tub or the bottom?
No, the side. Do you know how if you were going to have a drink and put it on the side of the tub while you're sitting in the tub, the flat part? Well, then follow that flat part to the exterior of the tub, and there's like a little lip there, or a little,
Yeah. I do, I'm a plumbing contractor, and I do a lot of jetted bathtubs. I'm one of the few guys that work on jetted tubs. So I'm constantly pulling tubs, and it's more than likely it's an installation issue.
Yeah, that's what our guy said from stressing it.
Or it's a very cheap plastic tub. Like when I put a brand new tub in, I'm really insistent on getting a very thick quality tub. And making sure that you put a mortar bed underneath it, that there's no air gaps at all underneath.
Right.
So when you step on it, even if a 300 or 400 pound person was in there,
it should not flex. And he was saying he heard it flexing. You could almost hear a squeaking, and they think that's what probably did it.
Yeah, that or title is sweet. That or title is sweet. You just
Ours from
walk into the
Oklahoma.
DMV and tell them I want a new title. They'll look at it and say or, and you say, yeah, I'm the or. Nobody else has to be there. Nothing. Just click, done.
But then you wouldn't even have to do that, though.
Well, it depends on if there's an or name there and that person is around.
But you would. Why? I mean, if it's or, you have it.
Okay, imagine this time. Imagine in an adverse situation, somebody steals your car key, rolls up, and gets in your car.
And they're the or.
And they're the or, and they drive down to the DMV, and now you're out of the game.
That's why I don't understand why they write them that way.
Because the purchaser asks for it that way.
I understand. I understand.
Well, basically the main reason
Mark
here is...
and Suzanne. I don't understand.
No, not Ann.
I know.
See, with the
I'm
Ann,
saying I understand Mark and Suzanne.
No,
I do not understand Mark or Suzanne.
The or, you already answered your own question. The or would be in case one of them died. There's nothing to do.
See, Mark
so
and
joint with
Mark and Suzanne,
Well, you still have to show up with DMV.
You got to show up with proof. You got to show up with a death certificate on the and. On the or, you just show up.
Yeah, but I think that would be risky too, because when the love goes south and the or goes in there,
and the or goes south,
that shit over to themselves.
When the or goes south,
that's how I know. That's how when I looked at the title and saw there was an or, I went straight to the TV.
It all comes down to trust, John.
Exactly. I agree. That's the exact problem.
How about if you had 4 ors?
You didn't hear
Joe Smith or Mark Major or John Fuller or Tom Martinez.
I think you'd have a problem getting it done like that.
Did you respond to this guy about the $23 special? Because I want to know what the fuck's going on. Did you respond?
I did not, because if you read it, I don't know anything about that particular unit or furnace. I don't know, man. I do know the variable motors are very fucking expensive.
Yeah, but why did he conclude he needed one already?
I don't think he did. I think what he was saying is, because of this kind of unit with a variable motor, if I remove the motor and there's a problem, if I remove it and it breaks when I'm either removing it or putting it back in, you're going to be buying a motor. You follow? I don't think it says you need a motor.
He's saying if I mess with it?
To me, it makes it sound, what I think the technician was trying to say is this particular motor, we've had issues removing and putting back in. They break easy, so I'm giving you a heads up. You know, whether that's right or not, I have no fucking clue. That's how I read it, though. I do not read that as he's saying, hey, you need a motor. I do not read it like that at all. He's saying if it breaks coming out or going back in, you're buying a motor.
Tom asked me about the craziest calls that I've gotten at my firm.
You got one at 3 a.m. you told me one time, or some crazy shit.
That was right after Mark gave me.
I told him the craziest ones all start with you giving out my phone number.
Hey, Tom or Mark told me to call.
Right.
I was walking in Walmart the other day, and a can of soup fell on my toe.
Mark said I should call your personal cell number.
I told him I got a call. We were at a party one time, and my wife got friendly with some woman. I got a call at 1 a.m.
I saw a movie like that one time, you know.
About a problem. She said, well, I didn't want to call my doctor because he'd be mad at me for calling him, but I called you instead.
Right.
Yeah, doctors and lawyers, you guys probably get the most questions at fucking dinner parties and bullshit. No, that's not true. I would guess public officials probably get the fucking most questions.
My brother gets a lot of dumb ones. He's an airline pilot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, what would you ask? I mean, like, what would you ask him? Hey, did you ever crash the plane, or?
Stupid
guys
shit,
really
like,
be sleeping
Who's
up
he
there?
fly for?
how high does this plane go, you know? Different shit.
Who does he fly for?
Southwest.
If one of those wings falls off, are we okay?
Does he love his job?
I don't know.
It's not.
I think he enjoys flying. I don't think he particularly enjoys the plight of a
commercial
professional airline pilot. You know, it's just a means to an end.
You know what's funny is, if you went back into the 60s, 70s, what a prestigious job.
Well,
I mean, honestly, man, they
were
walked
making,
on water.
Some of them were making 2 bills.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, back in the 70s.
With bills.
200 grand a year, you know, or some of the overseas were 250.
We know one with Frontier right now.
Actually, there might have been some at Delta topping at 300, but that went away. That went away.
I knew a captain
He makes way more than that.
Yeah.
Now, well, he's an old liner though.
No, he's right.
No, but he must have been hired in the old school. They start pilots at fucking 40 or 50,000 right now in Right Sea.
They paid him $250,000 to stay home for a year and a half.
Frontier, Frontier starts cheap as fuck, man.
I'm not kidding you. 2.5 to stay at home and not come to work for a year and a half.
Then that.
And that
Well,
was
you
half-
know why?
I thought
Because
that was half his salary.
they got paid by the government.
Wait, you're not saying he makes a $500,000 a year? Oh, does he do overseas? John, honest to God, I don't think pilots make $500,000.
Has he been with them a long time? Like 20?
I'll just Google average airline pilot salary.
He ain't average.
No, it's.
What do you mean?
As soon as you throw in Spirit and Frontier,
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What's going on in your life, Christine? What's happening? What's going on?
Hi.
Hi. What's happening?
Actually, we bought our home about a month and a half ago, and 3 weeks ago we had a small overflow on our main floor.
Now, what kind of overflow? Where did it come? Where did the overflow come from?
It was clear water coming from a soft clog, is what they called it.
From a what?
Just slowly kind of dripping out of the toilet, but we didn't realize it until it was dripping.
Was it coming out of the tank or the bowl?
The bowl.
Like, was it cracked or what? Or was it the wax ring underneath?
I have no idea.
Okay, so you were okay. So what happened? What happened? It started leaking, and what happened?
I called Roto-Rooter. They came out and said that they were going to be able to fix it all, do the mitigation, the plumbing mitigation, and everything. So
well, how bad was this water? How bad was it?
It was bad.
Like, were you flooded?
Water. It was just where it went.
Were you flooded?
It just went everywhere. It went into 2 rooms and then down into my basement into 1 room.
All right.
But we couldn't see the real extent.
You know, see, here's the problem. Once you call and they start talking about, mitigation and restoration and all of this, they're thinking, oh boy, we got a big insurance job here. I'm trying to get your pictures here. I don't see them, but.
Yeah, it was the team supervisor came out and was like, I'm going to get, my team together.
Yeah, of course. You're the restoration team. And by the way, you're primed for ripoff with a disaster like that. Anything with water or flood, primed for ripoff. And by the way, you called the worst company, one of the worst companies you could call. One of the worst companies you could call. So what ended up happening?
The plumber's tool died, so the next day another plumber came out, said that they had found some female products in there, but they fixed it fine. It was a long weekend.
Okay.
And over that weekend, I went to clean it, and I turned on the sink, and it starts sewage coming out of my shower.
Wait, this is after they fixed the toilet, backed up, they fixed it, and then sewage came out of the sink.
This is out of a different bathroom. Also, yes, sir. Still upstairs on the main floor, but a whole different bathroom.
I get it. Okay. You got some drain problems, but what the problem is, you need to get somebody honest in there to look at it.
What ended up happening is he said that he fixed it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read my thing. He said that it was white this time.
What does that mean, it was white?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Tell me what we can help you with. Let's skip right to it. What did they do wrong? What do you need help with?
The guy ended up removing a toilet, and when he did finally get the clog, it sent all the water pressure and all the water from all the bathtubs upstairs into my vents and came all through my basement.
None of that makes sense, man. I say this guy. Okay, it's okay. We know for sure. Okay, Christine, where do we stand today? Did that get fixed? What do you need?
No. Well, sewage started coming down, and this was a Category 4 is what they called it, and they took full responsibility.
All right, hold on. Don't go away, Christine. We need to help you with this. It sounds major.
Please, we can call you back or just hang on and I'll take you first up. Anyone else? 303-713-TALK. Okay.
They say right now the average Southwest pilot makes $255.
Really? I
Wow.
never knew that because I heard the days of those were over and people started at the earth.
Yeah,
but
but
Southwest.
there's a lot of things that go into it. You know,
That's
whether
good
you're
news, actually.
Yeah, if you're
Because I don't want like people like let's
The city bus driver.
I don't want the Amazon driver flying my plane.
My mom wants to get life insurance on me, but
I don't want the Amazon driver flying my plane.
Colorado when she lives in Arkansas.
Spirit and Frontier, those
Why
guys.
they're tenure that.
Yeah.
They don't charge
shit,
one.
You have to have an insurable interest.
Yeah, but they got that from
Maybe
Uncle
they're
Sam.
saying there's no longer an insurable interest because
Oh, hell yeah.
my brother with Joe Chiano is that
Vacation.
So if she gets Joe Chiano on, I will ask that as an email question.
I had a friend,
So have her
Doug
get
Walker,
Joe
that
on.
made over that with United,
We'll get it definitely.
but he had the coveted.
Mark, what's this? Is this yours?
Yeah. Aren't you getting up or no?
Yeah, I will. He's calling. He said at 12:15.
And,
I'll start this hour and then.
From Germany to here, what is it, Hearthrow or whatever the hell it is over there?
I think he said 12:15.
But he waited forever to get that. So his pension, he would have gotten about $11,000 a month, and then that fucking what was that guy's name? I want to say Nokia, but I think that was the Century Link guy or whoever, the U.S. West guy. But they took it into bankruptcy, and his pension ended up at about $1,100 a month, man. He lost $10,000 a
So
month.
man,
on his
the
pension.
average freaking Southwest pilot makes $250. Well, that restores my faith because I was thinking they're all low paid. Do you think Southwest pays among the best? So what are all these rumors I heard about the days of high-paying jobs were over at the airlines?
I don't know.
Probably got beat there a while.
They're still the dumbest group of damn people in the world. I mean, yeah, they are. They all have ex-wives and fucking alimony and.
Well, okay.
Oh, I mean, they make some dumb decisions.
Standing right next to abuse problems.
No, that's true. They probably do.
Yeah. I mean, my brother is like
senior.
Look at that
Uber
fucking flooding.
uber frugal.
But I knew none that made $500,000. Okay, so the average senior airline pilot, and again, average is bad, but it's even that's way higher than I thought, 73.9. And they said, however, the average American Airlines is 262. That's American.
Yes.
Southwest is 255. You say, okay, so all of the main carriers are probably paying a shitload.
It's all the lower ones that bring that
But
average
they even
down.
say the average, the range that they
How
get
about the
is from
median? That would be
54 up to $578,000. So the average is 255. They don't have a median.
Airline.
I wonder what the
Now,
Concord
median is
pay a
more.
pilot.
Oh shit! Median is 102.20. You know what median means? There's an equal number below.
Yeah,
and
these
above.
are-
There's a whole bunch of reserve pilots out there making shit.
No, there's the equal number below and above.
No, you just nailed it.
That means
That's
half of
it.
them.
They're second
half
and
of them
third
make it
chair.
above that. Half of all pilots make it above that. That's amazing.
Well, that makes sense, though. Second and third chair are always going to get paid less. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I think they're they're talking about main pilots, captains.
Your FOs and whatnot.
What's he going to do when,
They don't have three
Tesla
anymore.
just puts an autopilot
I don't think anyone
landing?
has three anymore unless they're going overseas.
Then it's over.
I don't think they have three in the cockpit anymore at all, except
Overseas they do for sure.
Yeah, they just have the guy that's a standby though, but they're not to operate the aircraft. They're just going to take over.
They probably rotate for sleep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's no longer three. There used to be literally three a long time ago to actually run the.
Well, usually 2 pilots and a flight engineer, right?
Yeah, which is crazy they would have that. And now, actually, they're all pretty much single pilot. The co-pilot's there for safety.
Well, that Max can fly itself, so.
So they don't let anybody sit in the cockpit by themselves anymore.
No,
So-
no, of course not. But
Hell
they
no.
literally could fly that. They don't need
Oh, they
another
do.
set of hands.
Sometimes into a mountain.
Right, you don't put one
I like
blow in there anymore. You got one guy with a bad day. How about that one that disappeared? They never found, man.
Oh, I mean,
And they found that guy. He had
Hold
the
on now,
simulator in
this
his house. He was doing all kinds of weird shit with.
Yeah.
Listen, man, even the co-pilots, 147 average. So the airline's a good career then.
I got Joe Keanu on for that question.
Good.
I don't think he dislikes his job, but it's very political, it's very union, it's very BS, you know, with...
That's fun.
That would be fun doing
All we
it
got
every
to do is
day.
close the door behind him and
They
then
don't
he's
do
just
it.
fine.
They're limited to like 20 or 30 hours a month.
No.
What is he limited to?
Not 20 or 30 a month?
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be Germany and back.
Limits on
I'll tell you, one of
U.S.
the coolest things I got to.
Maybe 30 a week.
Yeah, more like, it's probably right in that range, Tom, 30, 40 a month, you know? But you're talking flight time, and so
That's right. Then you got to get
that
to and
ends up
from.
meaning a really full-time job when you commute to the airport, you fuck around with security, you get in, you
That's
go to
30
the
hours. Oh, no. Way more. Hold on. The
week.
FAA time limitations for commercial pilots, 8 hours. And by the way, it's 30 hours it says 8 hours, it says 30 hours in 7 consecutive days, 100 hours in a calendar month, 1,000 hours in a calendar year. But no, Mark, I don't know a pilot in the world that flies 100 hours a month. I don't know any of them ever that fly that. So this is the FAA. This is not airline stuff. But I'm wondering what they mean by, I wonder, 8 hours between required rest periods. What does that mean?
That means,
Well, if you fly a certain amount of time, you got to have 8 hours.
that means when your flight crew gets in at 11 and they're scheduled to leave, you know, and they're 2 hours late and they don't have enough time to make their 8 hours.
The required rest can change
You ain't
depending
keeping
on
on
how many
time.
hours are actually flown. 8 hours consecutive, 24 now. Let's see. Scheduled less than 8 hours, 9 hours. Oh, this is weird.
You know, it was cool, Mark. I got to fly in the simulator for an hour at the United. That was the coolest thing.
I was invited there, and I never did it.
Come on out there. The full motion one, did you go?
Oh, yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But you
It
know, the
actually
weirdest
gets
thing
you
was,
sweaty palms.
so you're in the plane, right? And you're taking off, and the guy who was with me said, "You want to do that again?" I said, "Absolutely." He hits a button, and everything goes black, and you swear for a millisecond you're going to die. Because you have the sensation of climbing, and you just stop. But it's such a
The full motion.
Oh, it was
And they
so
really
much
shouldn't
fun.
call it full motion. Well, I guess they are.
They were total flight
I bet
simulators.
you could
They don't
stall
do-
it
they
and
don't
feel
go-
like it.
They don't go 360, but they go like that. Oh man, they have some really big ones.
Oh. This was the United one out, by Lowry.
Tom Martino.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. This brought to you by RealCBDThatWorks.com. You've heard me talk about this. If you're in pain, I got to get Deputy Doc some. He was in pain. I got to really put it to the test. Anyway, if you're in pain, you have inflammation, anxiety, CBD products have been known to work, and now they have CBG products as well. All you have to do is go to Panacea Life. It's RealCBDThatWorks.com. RealCBDThatWorks.com. Get 30% off with Tom in the promo code.
What is CBG?
CBG is a derivative of the hemp plant like a CBD, but it's a different family, and they say it has a whole bunch of properties similar to CBD and some better. So they call it, but it's all under the umbrella of hemp, and it's under the, they still say CBD, but some of them are actually CBG. Anyway, RealCBDThatWorks.com. Put Tom in the promo code. Get 30% off. We're going to go back to Christine and this Roto-Rooter problem. This is crazy. But first, I have a quick email question for Joe Keanu. Joe is our expert on life insurance and Become the Banker and all that. Joe, we often say that, and you've done this, you had a life insurance policy on your son and then turned it over to your son when he was of age. And we hear about people getting life insurance on others. What requirements are there? This one woman writes that she tried to get life insurance on her son, but he lives in another state, and they wouldn't let her do that. Why is that, or is that not true? I mean, is that was she given wrong information?
I think, a couple of things could have happened. Number one, the agent selling the policy to the child or to the son who lives in another state will have to be licensed as a non-resident agent on that state. If that agent is not licensed in that state, legally he cannot write an application. So that would be one.
But aren't there ways around it? Aren't there ways? Like if you had a client here and he said, "Hey Joe, my mom wants to buy life insurance on me to get me started on life insurance," is there a way to do it?
Yeah, the only way to do it is actually by having a non-resident license, Tom. I mean, you have to have a non-resident license if the other person lives in another state.
So, okay. So the person, are you licensed for the insured or for the policy owner?
No, I'm licensed for, for example,
I'm asking, when you hold a license, what determines what license you need? The person being insured or the person buying the insurance?
No, the person actually, the agent determines that.
Okay. I'm not asking this properly, Joe. If someone lives in California and wants to buy a policy on their kid who lives in Florida, what license do you need? Where the policy is written or who owns the policy? I'm here. If I'm here in Colorado and I want to write a policy on my kid in Florida, what license is required?
Okay, not from you, but the agent who's going to sell you that policy has to have a non-residence license in Florida.
Okay, in Florida, because my son lives in Florida.
That is right.
But it has to be a non-resident license.
Right. Exactly.
Why can't I go to a life insurance person in Florida and buy a policy for my son in Florida if I live in Colorado?
Oh, you can. You can. Nothing will stop you from doing that.
Okay. So the answer is, if someone wants to buy a policy for their child, they simply have to go to the state their child resides in and buys the policy if you can't find someone with multi-licenses.
Exactly. That is the key.
Okay.
That is the key. Now, Tom, there's only one tiny bit, that you may want to hear about. And
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, if this person has a minor, let's say a child, let's say that her daughter got married in Florida, and they had her husband and the daughter had a child.
Yeah.
Okay, and they reside in Florida. Now, that agent, still has to be licensed, but I mean, the parent has to be present as well. Not licensed, but I mean, present on the telephone call or the Zoom meeting so they can get their approval that that's okay for the mother to buy the policy on the grandchild.
So,
the parents have to approve it.
Okay. And what constitutes an insurable interest? What kind of interest do you have to buy insurance on someone?
Right. It's a blood relative or a business partner.
Okay. So it has to be a blood relative or a business partner where you have something to lose if they die?
That is right. That is right.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome, Tom.
So right now then, do you, by the way, have a non-resident license?
I have them all over the United States.
Oh, you do? So you can virtually sell anywhere?
Except the state of New York.
Okay, cool. Joe Chiano, becomethebanker.org. And, of course, he doesn't just sell life insurance. He has a very special product that is overfunded on purpose to gain cash value tax-free and to be used in retirement later on. Becomethebanker.org. But thanks for answering that. Now, Christine, on this Roto-Rooter, oh, my goodness, is this something that is just crazy? Just crazy. So, bottom line, they came there and they kind of screwed up. And as a result, you had more damage. And you're saying they're taking 100% responsibility.
They did, yes. I had one bathroom and one room that was messed up. By the time they left, I had no bathrooms, so that's 3 bathrooms that are completely contaminated and flooded, and now the basement was when he opened the clean.
And what are they going to do for you? What are they going to do for you?
They left to go get the hotel keys and came back and said,
"What hotel keys? What are you talking about?"
The supervisor said, "Of course, this is our fault. You can't stay here tonight."
Oh,
I'm going to go to my boss and get
Oh,
And he
I get
returned.
it. They're going to go get you a hotel room. And what happened?
He came back and said, Ms. Torridge, I'm sorry, I have some bad news. You signed a hold harmless agreement,
Yeah.
so there's nothing that we can do.
Wait a minute, a hold harmless agreement. John Fuller is our attorney today, by the way. He's here for personal injury. But, John, a hold harmless agreement, I don't get it. If they were negligent in some way, what do they mean? That you said you wouldn't go after him for damages?
Anywhere in the home that I'm supposed to allow them full access to my home, and while they're there, any damages that they're caused by negligence or anything else, I can't hold them.
You can't hold them responsible. So they came in for a sewer backup, and if they made it, hold on, they came in for a sewer backup, and if they stuffed stuff down your toilet to make it worse, so you would have to buy more services, you couldn't hold them responsible.
And if those services, like if they did, messed up more, I can't hold them responsible either. I have, oh my goodness, my entire middle of my home.
Wait, do you have insurance, homeowners insurance?
I do.
And
they finally sent, a week later, they finally sent the plumbing report because, they didn't want to send in the plumbing report.
Christine, I'm asking you if your homeowner's insurance is going to cover this.
Yes, sir, they are right now.
Then they're going to go after this damn company. I can't believe this. Roto-Rooter, if we call them right now, they admit that they caused this.
Yes.
What did they say they did wrong? Hold on a second. We're going to come back to this. This is crazy. Hold on. I'm Tom.
Mark, just come over here. You don't have to log in or anything. It's not going to be, I just need to take the call and get that done. So I'm going to go out to the office, and you can just, and you have to do those 2 commercials.
Who are they?
Ideal and, there, it's written right there. Here. Nice.
Put up the phone number for Ideal, please. All right, check it out.
SimplyFloorsInc.com. I love these guys. You know why? Because I personally use them. We've had Buddy Mitchell and Karen out to the house. You know what they do? They bring all the samples to you. That's probably my favorite part. You get to see your new flooring, whether it's hardwood, tile, LVT, you name it, you get to see it right there with your furniture, your walls, your paint. You get the idea. And the kicker, and I love the kicker, save up to 40% from the big box stores. SimplyFloorsInc.com, great guys. Now, another great company I want to tell you about, Ideal Home Loans. You know what I love about this? There's a lot of people out there that can do a second for you, or they can refi you, or a new purchase. A lot of them. Lenders are everywhere right now because rates are so low. Not many of them, if any other ones of them, do this, though. These guys at Ideal Home Loans guarantee that if rates go down by 3/4 after the first 2 years after you refi or new purchase with them, guess what? They'll refi you 100% for free. You can't beat that. There's no other companies out there doing stuff like that. Their rate guarantee is incredible. The other thing these guys do, if your credit score is not there, they can help you optimize your credit score to get the better rates. They can do a real quick check, figure out what your credit score is. They can turn around and do what they call a rapid rescore and get you a higher score, which equals better rates, which equals more savings to you. If you got any high interest debt, it's time to pay it off. Interest rates are low, and you're not going to find a better company out there than Ideal Home Loans. 303-867-7000 for your next Ideal Home Loan.
Hey, let me take a minute and talk about Blue
CBD. It has really been working for my aches and Blue Sky CBD, the more that I am aware about how much it is helping, the more I like it. And I told you about all my views.
The bomb!
Recently, I continue.
Is that commercial just cut to hell?
Really helps me when I use tinctures.
Which one?
That energy and some inflammation reduction. But now what I've really liked is the sleep gel.
Like they cut every pause out of everything that he said.
I do that.
Fit in the spot.
Yeah, that's better than if I turn in a spot, like if I'm doing a spot for you and it's 32 seconds, the alternative is they shrink it, the whole thing. Then I sound like this in my spot. Some of Tom's sound. Yeah. Some of Tom's sound is crazy, man. Like they grabbed him by the balls, you know?
Right.
So you go in and you take all your breaths down. But it is kind of weird that all of a sudden it just kind of sounds a little fake because no one can possibly talk for a minute without breathing.
It just fucks up the whole cadence of what he says in that commercial to the point where it's just like, you cannot possibly speak like that.
You mean in the Logan's commercial?
What do you want to talk about, John? You got anything in particular?
Babe, do you want me to get Jim Janicelli for that title question? I didn't quite understand it, but he finally got back to me.
Yeah, can you just have it? Yeah, just have him on. That's fine. I got another Dodge one that just came in, too, but the guy who would have been a great outbound, but he didn't leave a phone number.
Okay, I'm going to get Jim Janicelli on for you.
I wonder if they own Perkins. Oh, I can't wait to get up to Granby.
You have a nice long weekend?
Yeah. Might even play some tennis.
I'm screwed. I can't play golf this weekend.
Why?
Because I can't walk. I can barely walk, let alone the golf.
What'd you do?
Because you haven't seen me hobbling around the past 3 or 4 days?
I don't pay attention to other people.
Man, I had some back surgery about 15 years ago.
And it came back
I
and
think
bit
it
you.
just came back.
Where you stand, right? He just said, I don't pay any attention to other people. And I'm like, well, at least you know where you stand, right?
Without a doubt. I wasn't paying attention to him.
You want to see something, well, you saw it. He's got a pinched nerve. I never quite got. I always kind of understood, okay, it's a pinched nerve. When you look at his x-ray, man, you can see in that spinal column, and it goes from like this thick to fucking pinched. And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it feels like it too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for real.
What are you gonna end up doing, man? You gonna get that surgery?
No, what I'm gonna do next is hook myself up with Colorado Pain Care and see what they do and see what they suggest.
Good idea.
As my second opinion, and if they suggest that I get the work done, then I'll be looking to get the work done. It's really, really simple. I can't walk most days of the week and half of the day. Yeah, when I leave out of here, that's why I put that ice pack in the freezer, so that I can put it on my back while I drive home, and then when I get home, I go take a nap.
How old do you think he is, John?
41, 42.
That's code sports for a special offer when you sign up only.
He's already told me he's 70s.
Okay, I like 41, 42.
That's messing with you.
Denver's talk station is available everywhere in your car, at work, and wherever you go.
Yeah.
All you need is our free iHeartRadio app. Just say,
Do you need headphones? Do you need me to get you some?
No, I got some.
Okay, Jim Janicelli, thank you.
Holy crap, see death. All right,
3037-138-255. Any questions you have, really, any questions on personal injury, now is the time. John Fuller is in-house with us, so any questions on an accident, and I've got some email questions we'll talk to him about. But I'm going to go back to Carla. No, I'm sorry, Carla, I'll go to you in a second. I'm going to go back to Christine with this rooter issue. I've got a couple more questions, and then we have Jim Janicelli on the line. Then Carla, court made her guardian. Hospital will not let her see her son. I wonder what's going on with that, if that's a COVID call. We'll figure it out, though. 303-713-8255. We do have 2 lines open. Ripped off, taken advantage of. I want to hear from you. Comprende? Now, Christine, this Roto-Rooter, if you turned it over to your home insurance, how much damage is there? Have they said anything yet?
They sent out, we had the asbestos done, and they sent out a team because my walls and floors are going to have to be removed by them. And they are, I think, about 6 to 8 weeks out before they can even begin.
Isn't your insurance company, though, going to pay for another place to live for a little bit?
They are looking for a temporary housing right now.
Yeah, good.
Me, my 4 children, our 2 service dogs, and my husband, who's a disabled vet.
Yeah, I got you. So the good news, though, is your own insurance company is standing up. Really, they're going to end up subrogating. If they see something that the other company should have liability for, they'll subrogate and they'll get that money back. Then you won't have to pay whatever your deductible is. But it sounds like you're in good hands now, correct?
Yes, sir. I would just.
So how can we help you from here? You just want to warn people? Because if you're trying to warn people about Roto-Rooter, you don't have to. They're, in my opinion, they're slime bags. We get a ton of complaints on them. Honest to goodness.
My insurance called yesterday, and whenever they sent in all of their reports, because I guess I'm not signing the satisfaction paper from them, and I didn't accept
the satisfaction. Why would you sign a satisfaction with Roto-Rooter? I don't understand. And what does your insurance company care?
They called. Well, I care because they sent over that there was 0 loss of inventory loss, and they hauled off an entire truck of my things.
You mean, okay, hold on a second here. So when all these problems happen, Roto-Rooter had someone come over and pick up your stuff and bring it somewhere?
Yes, sir. It was an entire room. Cause we
okay, so where is that stuff? Or was it all contaminated and it's worthless?
I don't know, and they won't.
But Christine, I would just, listen, I know this is horrible for you. It sounds horrible. I wouldn't want to be living through this. I would just tell your insurance company exactly that. They took off with a couch, a chair, whatever. You should have replacement coverage on that stuff. Because ultimately what happened was it was contaminated with the sewage. They're not going to clean it.
No. Yeah, they're not.
You know what I want you to do? I want you to call someone for me, okay? His name is Matt. Hold on, I'm looking up his number right now. Suzanne, grab Matt's number. I only do 100 million commercials for him, and I can't think of his number offhand. I want you to call Matt up and talk to Matt, okay? He's a public adjuster. Do you know what that is?
Yes, sir.
You do know what a public adjuster is?
I do believe it's kind of like stepping in.
Yeah, he's going to step in and represent you with your own insurance company. That's what he's going to do. Your insurance company entered into an agreement with you, the policy. Whatever that policy should be paying out right now, regardless of anything else. It looks like they've already said, yes, we'll go ahead and pay for stuff. Now you want someone to look at your policy like Matt and get you every nickel that company owes you. Now, I understand your insurance company's doing the right thing. They're stepping up right now. But when it comes to the kind of damage you have, water damage, sewer damage, and on top of that, I also heard you say asbestos, right?
Yes, sir.
You need to get him. You need to get Matt involved in this, and I'm not kidding you. So I want you to call him up. You ready for his phone number?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
719-726-0020. Listen, Christine, I'm not kidding you. You could be leaving tens of thousands easily on the table with your own insurance company. I realize right now you're going, oh, I feel so good they're going to step in and handle it. They're also going to have their own adjuster that's going to try to cut the damages to the least amount as possible. That's their job. You need someone on your side to do the opposite, to get you as much as you are possibly owed.
Yes, and because of their 13 days of having seven fans and HEPA filters in here, I have 13 days of probably going to be outrageous.
Are we talking about, who set them up, Roto-Rooter?
Because of them. Yes, sir, their mitigation team. Their mitigation
Why
team
are they even still in the picture, Christine? God, you need so much help. You really do need someone to hold your hand like Matt. I am not kidding you. I don't even understand why Roto-Rooter is still part of this.
Because the mitigation and everyone was here and witnessed what the plumber did and then walked out, and then, they took responsibility, and their bosses said, nope, you shouldn't have done that. So they had to leave. But they left just for the kindness of their heart, I guess. Their 5 to 7 fans down in my basement.
So they just left the stuff there. Do you have another company in there, Christine, you're dealing with now on the cleanup? You said your insurance company stepped up.
My insurance company sent someone, yes, sir.
Okay, so someone is getting this stuff cleaned up, right?
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes,
we
sir.
got to worry about getting you a place to stay while they do everything else, because you have asbestos they need to deal with now. They have all this sewage to deal with. You need to call Matt. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. You need to call Matt. As soon as we hang up, call Matt, okay? Please call him. He's going to say, send me over a copy of your insurance stuff right now. And that's all you got to do. Email it to him. He'll help you find what he needs. But it's very important. Please, Christine, please listen to me on this one, okay?
Yes, sir.
I want to follow up. I want to follow up from you. Hold on. I just, listen, I know you're frustrated. I'm just putting you on hold. I'm done. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm done. I want to drill my teeth out. Here's the deal, though. Please call Matt. He is going to get you so much more money you're not going to know what to do with. And for people out there listening, you go like, for what? Well, I don't know, because I'm not a public adjuster and I'm not looking at her policy. That policy might afford $250 a day for her to stay at a hotel. It might afford $50 a day. It has something written in it about everything. Matt will go through it with a fine-combed tooth, a fine-tooth comb. I said it in reverse, but whatever. And here's the bottom line. He's going to get you every nickel. Suzanne, please make sure she calls Matt. I mean, I can't put it any other way. All right, Jim Janicelli, really quick. We had an interesting question. Hey, by the way, Jim, how are you doing, man? How's Colorado Springs Dodge?
Fantastic, Mark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. You also have, so you're the GM at Colorado Springs Dodge, and then on top of that, don't you have a used car dealership in the Springs as well?
Yes, it's called Preferred Pre-Owned North.
I love it, man. A good place in the Springs. We used to get a lot of complaints just in general of all dealers, new and used in the Springs. It's nice knowing you've got a couple hands in the pot, and it's good down there. On a title, can you still put, if Suzanne and I walked in and bought a vehicle from you, and we wanted it titled Mark Major or Suzanne Major, that's no issue for you, right? Could you care less?
Nope. State of Colorado does not recognize the word or.
Oh, okay. When we moved here from Oklahoma, literally our title said or, so it's all up to the state.
Oklahoma's a little backwards, buddy.
Well, it's a little more than a little.
Here's the way we do it in Colorado. If you want two names on the title, that's fine.
But then two sign.
If you add the letters JTWROS, that stands for Joint Title with Rights of Survivalship. What that means is, if in fact one of you were to pass away, the remaining individual would be able to sign off that title with a death certificate.
And I assume
have to send the title back into the state.
I assume the reason they did that instead of or is if you bought one with, say, a girlfriend or even a wife, and you guys were thinking of splitting up, one could run down and get rid of that asset real quick into their own name.
You know, that's probably right, but to be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that. It's or has not been recognized, I think, for as long as I've been around, which is 41 years. So I really don't know the reason why they did it.
Hey, how is inventory now, man? We talked before. You guys getting a lot of new cars in? Is it starting to get better, or is it the same old?
No, new cars are still a problem, for sure. New cars are a problem. We're getting some. We're not getting anywhere near what we used to get. We can get cars built for customers specifically, but as far as having 400 on the ground, which is what I used to have, no. I'm lucky to have 75 or 80.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? From 400 down to 75 or 80?
Yes. The good news is we're getting about 100 a month, but we sell about 100 a month. So
it's not moving.
If I started with 75, I usually end the month with 75 because the 100 I got represents the 100 that I sold. But, yeah, you know, we're doing what we got to do, and our used car inventory is bigger than it's ever been. We're buying cars from all over the country to help make up for the loss of new inventory, and customers are taking advantage of that. So that's the upside.
How about parts in the service department? I know you guys work on every make and model. A lot of our guys down here are basically saying, hey, man, you know, we're going to other... One of our transmission guys, for example, says they're finding it really hard for some of these kits, so these shops are calling around and kind of helping each other out.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. The good news is our manufacturer So for our product, for Chrysler products, we don't have a problem. We can get most parts, not all of them, but most.
Got it.
Not as bad as we have with new inventory.
All right, Jim Janicelli, Colorado Springs Dodge. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. He's always a wealth of information. By the way, they are the largest Dodge dealership in the state. People drive everywhere, and even though inventory's a little tight, you're still going to get the best deal. And he's a great guy. 719-475-8550, or check him out at referralist.com. Now, coming back right after the break. You know, this one sounds, I got Deputy Doc next to me, and I got John Fuller, attorney at law. Listen to this one. Surgeon messed up on her spine and then kicked her to the curb, and then Carla's got an issue. Apparently she is the legal guardian, but the hospital says you can't see my kid. We're going to dive into those and much more right after this.
That's what we call a tease.
That may be COVID. When I was in the hospital, I wasn't allowed any visitors.
That's what I'm wondering, is if it's COVID.
It may be. So my son couldn't even come and see me when I was in the hospital.
An accident reported on 225 southbound at Islet. Really no slow traffic.
So you're leaving right from me, you're driving up? You got the van outside?
Yeah.
You haven't seen me hobbling around the bed? I can barely walk.
I
I
have not seen it.
I can barely walk.
I guess figured in my brain the fact you're here, you can walk.
I'm really having a tough time.
What are you going to do?
Well, I went to spine one, and I went to get an MRI. They need to get approval for the MRI to see if it's what the issue is, whether it's a cracked vertebrae or
What's your gut telling you?
My gut telling me it's a ruptured disc. It's putting pressure on the nerve.
Sounds right.
But
Where does it hurt the most, up or lower?
It is from right here, all down my right leg.
Sharp pain?
Oh, I mean, I'm not a wuss, but it's sometimes
Is it a shooting pain? Then it's a fucking nerve, of course.
Yeah, I know it's a nerve.
That's going to suck, man.
And what sucks is that I'm moving this week, so it's a bad time to have things go bad.
It is a bad time to have things go bad. You going to get a shot?
Oh, I'm hoping that.
Or you got to wait till you have the MRI.
I got to get the MRI.
Get one of those guided needles in there.
Yeah, I tried to make an appointment at Colorado Pain Care, but they can't get me until the 13th.
Did you tell them you're here?
Yeah, they were going to get me until the 20th. Tom got him to be in a week earlier. So we'll see what happens.
Talib's got an appointment there, too. You saw his back, right?
Yeah.
His pinched nerve. I had no idea that it could be that pinched.
Oh, yeah, I mean, once that space is gone, it's gone.
So if you think of that, not your spine, but your cord.
Spinal cord?
Yeah, if you think of your spinal cord, we still don't have the technology to where if it just got cut in half, lacerated,
you're dead. There's no coming back.
There's no coming back.
Nerves don't regenerate.
But eventually we'll have that technology.
You know what, Mark? I was telling someone.
This is going to be the biggest stuff.
I think
that's really the life changer.
I think the only thing that's going to be impossible is time travel. Everything else will eventually be possible. Anything you can think of, technology in 100 or 1,000
Well, hold on,
years.
Doc. Hold on. If I can freeze you and wake you up in 100 years, you just fucking traveled 100 years, right?
You can't go back in time.
Oh, okay. Back to the future.
I don't think there'll ever be time travel. But anything else, I think eventually technology will
I heard
solve.
if Superman flew around the Earth backwards, though.
Yeah, fast enough and long enough, he could get the world to spin backwards.
Right.
And it worked.
Or time to in the movie.
Oh. That wasn't based on real events.
You know, it's funny, my dad, I never would have believed that. $3 for a bottle of water when you can just open the tap?
Shit goes so quick, man. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Just look at the internet. I remember it wasn't long ago our modems, when Talib and I first met, our average customer had a 14.4 or 28.8 baud modem.
They started out with the 14.4s. We got them up to 56s on that dang thing, but
that was it.
That was it.
Well,
and I saw the writing on the wall. Time to sell.
It's Moore's Law, right? It's Moore's Law.
Yeah, more.
Everything doubles every 18 months.
Now, I'll tell you, the chosen for beta for our area.
Really?
Yeah, and he's always on Facebook bragging about, oh, it's so fast.
How much more speed do you need?
My house, I'd be very happy with speed. I can allocate 100 megabytes. So I can say I want 50 up, 50 down, 80 down, 20 up, and that's basically what it'll do.
All right, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off, taken advantage of. This is a show for you. And let me put it this way. Over $200 million, arguably $300 million in cash merchandise, exchanges, refunds, services, all directly due to this show. And then on top of that, how many people listen to the show and say, oh, I'll never make that mistake.